You damn right. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. We are headed into championship weekend in all the conference tournaments. You got all kinds of stuff out there. If you love your college basketball, if you love your pro basketball, heck, if you love golf, they're at the TPC. That's always fun to check out. If you're a freak like me and you care about the XFL, they've got games. There's all kinds of stuff going on this weekend. We'll hit some football as well. Football never dies around here. Texas football going to take a spring break, but we are only 36 days away from the spring game. And speaking of game, the Longhorn men's basketball team found a pretty good game last night, and they stayed alive. We'll get to all of it. It's Chad and Zay on a Friday. I'm Chad Hastings, joined once again by Isaiah Collier. What's up, Zay?
This time of the year, like the Bee Gees say, just about staying alive, staying alive, staying alive.
Survive and advance.
That's all it's about.
By the way, happy birthday to the late, great Jim Valvano. If you haven't seen Survive and Advance, the 30 for 30, about 83 NC State, it's badass. Unless you're from Houston, it won't be badass then. Jimmy V would have been 77 years old today. But that is what it's about this time of year. Just survive. Just have one more point. Is not what we do in college football. College football is politics. College football is the show sometimes. How much did you beat them by? What did it look like? Because you're trying to impress a committee that's ultimately only going to throw 4 names in the hat. This one, there's a lot more names in the hat, and every little school gets their chance. That's what it's all about. And in these conference tournaments, you're trying to keep your momentum going, and you'd love to win a conference championship on the way, a conference tournament championship on the way, and Texas is certainly still alive for that. Before we get into the breakdown of it, let me give you the radio version of what happens because of last night real quick. Texas men tonight, 8:30 against TCU. And again, we'll get you a full breakdown. The right call segment is coming right up here. We threw it up at the top. Since they're in the tournament now, we're cranking it up a notch. Zay's got all the breakdown for you coming up. But the game will be on 104.9. It'll be on Coke FM as normal tonight at 8:30. That means for you Texas baseball fans, you'll move over to 1260 and 101.9 for the baseball game. 6:30 start there, 6:15 pregame for baseball. So we got that part out of the way. You ready to talk some hoops, eh?
Always, baby.
Ready to talk about those Oklahoma State Cowboys going down for a third time to the Longhorns. Burnt orange, better than bright orange, 3 times this year. Let's get into the right call segment, Zay, and talk about the Longhorns staying alive.
Thank you, Chad. The right call segment brought to you by Syntex Tickets. Go to syntextickets.com for your sports tickets, concert, theater, and stand-up. And people, guess what? We got something big happening here at the Horn with Syntex Tickets. You have a chance to win 2 pair of tickets to both women and men's Dallas, Houston, Final Four. Just keep listening to the show. Keep listening to us on Sunday. E. Hogan, me, Patrick, selection show, 5 to 7. Listen to all the shows weekly. B&E, Light the Tower, C&Z, and Ball Don't Lie. And maybe you could be going to both Final Fours. We don't have details yet. Just keep listening. But you could maybe win 2 tickets to both Final Fours. It's going down. But yeah, Chad, last night, big-time win for the Horns, 61-47, just beating the team 3 times. That's huge, man. That's huge. And without one of your do-it-all players, one of your leaders in Timmy Allen, I mean, when he was called out of the lineup last night, I said, uh-oh, this ain't the time. This ain't the time. UCLA, they lost Jaden Clark. He's Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12. They're looking at a number 1 seed. That's going to hurt them. Tennessee just lost to Kai Ziegler for the rest of the season. ACL, that's going to hurt them. Rick Barnes' crew. You know, we don't know what's going to happen with Bill Self. Hopefully, you know, he continues to do well, and I'm glad that everything looks good. He's still not going to be in the Big 12 tournament, but that probably going to affect Kansas. Most likely. So having somebody like Timmy Allen go down, that hurts. And who knows if he'll play tonight. Rodney Terry said it will be day to day. And it's looking like they're just going to hold him out of the Big 12 tournament. I think that will be the smart thing to do, knowing that, yeah, this is an important tournament. You want to have some type of rhythm, especially, the confidence that you have winning this tournament going into March Madness, knowing that, oh, we just won the Big 12 tournament. After we've beaten everybody in the Big 12 at least once, we have a chance to beat 3 teams that we've split with this season. Tonight with TCU, and then whoever wins out of Kansas and Iowa State. Texas has split with all 3 of those teams. So you have a chance to get the upper hand on both of them if you win tonight and tomorrow, giving you that Big 12 tournament title. But last night, man, it's so hard to tell because Oklahoma State playing the night before in the Bedlam game against OU, you'd think that with Texas playing the suffocating defense that they did those legs giving out have something to do with it? Because 29% total, 14 for 52, 3 for 21, 14% from 3. That's brutal for Mike Boynton's squad. That is brutal. But again, Texas, they were locking up. You don't have Timmy Allen. Timmy Allen's a really good defender. Timmy Allen is second in assists. He's a really good passer. He could get you buckets at around 10 a game. So that was huge, not having him. And then to play the defense that they did, Sir'Jabari Rice, you could tell a little bit that, he wasn't used to starting. Even though he had a solid game, at the end of the day, he still had 4 turnovers with that. And there were some bad turnovers. Like, okay, Jabari, you better than this, bro. Some of these turnovers really ill-advised. That's not you. But again, coming off the bench the whole year and then all of a sudden starting, that's a change. That's a change. And I think the highlight of the game for me, Chad, was Arterio Morris and the 15 minutes he gave you with the 10 points that he had. And I just saw somebody on the Specs text line say Timmy Allen's out for tonight. So he's not going to be there tonight. Right. So again, now you have this 8-man rotation, which I don't like it. I've been talking about it all year. I do not want an 8-man rotation.
Yeah, you like
12,
the 9.
I like the 9.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 8 regardless because Timmy Allen's out tonight. 3 games in 3 days, that could be tough. We already got Marcus Carr playing 40, which Coach Terry, come on, dog. We could take him out a little bit. Like Marcus Carr, 40 minutes, 2 for 10, 11 points, not good. I like him being aggressive and getting to the line. That's good and all, but we got to find some time to get Marcus Carr out the game with the way that he's been playing,
if he's going to look like that, maybe just a little breather
just
to take a look.
And I understand Tyrese Hunter, he got 2 quick fouls early in that first half, so you didn't have time to take him out. And again, just being a little repetitive here with Timmy Allen and the rotation being 8, guys' minutes are going to go up. But you saw the Dylan Dessou, Christian Bishop in the game at the same time last night. Maybe throw Brock Cunningham in there at the 3 just for a little bit. You could do it in spurts. Those 4-minute timeouts are going to come at the 16-minute mark, 12-minute mark, 8-minute mark. Let's take maybe Marcus Carr out at around 13 minutes, 14 minutes. So even though it says he sat out 2 minutes in the game, he gets a 7-minute rest with those TV timeouts. You dig? Just, do just little things like that. Because Arterio Morris is going to give you the minutes that he gave you last night. Yeah, Marcus Carr could afford to sit a little bit. Like, Arterio Morris was great. He showed why he was that 5-star McDonald's All-American, like just taking the ball from John Michael Wright, just plucking him, going on the other end, missing the layup, getting his own board, finishing, hitting 2 huge threes to extend the lead double digits. He had that little steal, breakaway dunk.
The dunk was nice.
And then, Coach Terry didn't play him in the second half. Like, there's minutes, you didn't see him really in the second half. But Marcus Carr is exhausted. That's clear.
But let's get to a reason as to why that might have happened. Do you think, because we saw another one of those droughts.
Yep.
And it went 8, 9, 10 minutes without a field goal. And they hit some free throws, but the field goal thing, do you think it was because of the drought that he decided, man, I got to have Carr go all the way and help us close this door and not have Morris coming back in for more time? Do you think the drought caused that?
A little bit, but Arterio Morris is hooping. He's playing D. He's hitting shots. So what is this? It wasn't one of those games where he does something dumb and you have to take him out and let him chill for a little bit.
Right.
You know, it just that doesn't add up for me. That just doesn't add up for me. And then it's nitpicking. You held the team to 26% shooting, 14% from three. Like, your D was amazing.
Yeah.
Plus, with how big and physical Oklahoma State is, like Boone and Cisse, thank goodness they didn't feed the post, because when they started giving it to Boone, he started hooping and he was disgruntled. They showed him on the sideline and they were talking about him being upset and not wanting to be in the huddle, locked in on Coach Boynton's, coach talk and just making plays, X's and O's during timeouts. He wasn't trying to hit none of that. Thank goodness, because he hit a 3 last night and he had that dunk on the pick and roll. It looked like he took off from the free throw line on that dunk. And I was like, uh-oh. And that's when Oklahoma State, they kind of started coming back. But then Texas, they had some good plays. Tyrese Hunter hit a huge 3 to make it 46-30, and then they ended up just pulling away. But one thing that I know people hate, especially because we're Texas, that happened last night that I want to address, Chad, Marcus Carr. He was 1 for 9 at the time at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And he shot that 3 to make it 61 points.
Yes.
Shouldn't have shot that. That's a classless act. You don't do that. That's against the basketball code. That's one of those, it goes on Coach Terry to where Coach Terry probably has to go apologize to Coach Boynton and be like, Coach, sorry about that. Just because everybody in basketball knows if you have the game won, you don't need to shoot the shot at the end. Like, take the turnover, drop the ball, let the clock go out. If the shot clock's going out, whatever. That's a turnover. It is what it is. Like,
right.
Or just like throw it or shoot it really high to where it looks like a shot and it doesn't hit nothing. But he just flat out shot it.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was listening to Craig call the game at that point, and Craig said, because you could hear the fans booing behind or whatever, and Craig said,
oh yeah, boo, I'll boo.
And Craig said, what do they want him to do? Let the shot clock run out. And I thought, well, yeah. That's exactly what you do.
Now,
right?
To Marcus Carr's defense, let's look at it in like a baseball term. When somebody's in a slump and your team is rolling, they're just, there might be a guy in the slump batting cleanup. He goes 0 for 4, but you're up by 8 runs or so. He's 0 for 4 right now. He's coming up to bat. It's 9th inning. He gets a hit, a double. That's huge. In baseball, you love stuff like that. They talk about, that's huge for his confidence for these upcoming games. So if I'm Marcus Carr, and if that's running through my mind, like, I just need to see something go through the hoop, and he shoots that 3 and he's like, okay, cool. Coming into this game tonight against TCU, that might have benefited him a little bit. Now, again, it was a classless act, and you don't do that.
Right.
But for our sake, as Texas fans and covering the team, we need Marcus Carr to be at his best. And these last few games, he has not been good. He just hasn't been good, whether that's fatigue, whether that's all of the eyes on the opposing team or on him, which they are. He's first team all Big 12. I know going in the scouting reports, teams are saying, okay, if we slow down Marcus Carr, we slow everybody else down. But now you got Tyrese Hunter playing the way he is. He was good last night again. 4 for 6, 11 points. Didn't like the fouls that he had early on, but he hit a lot of timely threes to help extend the lead. So just him shooting well, we know Sir'Jabari Rice is going to bring it. That's huge. And you got a team tonight that you're playing against, Jamie Dixon's squad, TCU. They killed you on the boards last time you played them in Fort Worth. Just obliterated you on the boards, 46-28. And you got killed on the boards last night, 45-31.
Yeah.
You still got killed on the boards. Thank goodness they had 20 turnovers and shot 26% and 14% from 3. Because if they would have shot just a little bit better, Oklahoma State wins that game.
Yeah, the boards was interesting last night. And then also, I know it's not a number a lot of people look at, but Texas won a game last night with 16 points in the paint. 16. Now, it was 20 for Oklahoma State. It was a good example of if you played – their defense was good enough that it created a 14-point win in a game where they looked ugly at times. It wasn't perfect, but the defense held it together. By the way, Zay, somebody is texting us that after the game, Marcus Carr said that not only was he maybe in that mindset of trying to see something go through the hoop, that so was Coach Terry. He said Coach Terry told him to shoot it. And somebody said you can read Coach Terry's lips telling him to shoot it.
Oh, Rodney.
I would ultimately agree with you. I wouldn't shoot. There's no reason to shoot that.
There's no reason to shoot it.
So, yeah, to me, it's like, okay, really? Like 2 out of 10 is that much different? I mean, he's 1 out of 9, like you said, as he's taking that shot. My response to all of it, to both of them, would be, all right, well, he better have 20 or so tonight. Like, it better make sense that he took that shot, because it did feel weird. It's not the greatest, it's not any kind of horrendous basketball, crime against the sport, but it was unnecessary.
No, it's not like this guy is Ron Artest Malice at the Palace.
Right.
All he did was shoot the shot at the end of the game, and I think it's just going to add on for these opposing teams and universities/fan bases when they look at Texas to just get on Texas and say, oh, Texas is classless, this and that, oh, F them, what kind of guy does he think he is? Like, it's just going to give you that type of fuel to throw at the horns, that, whatever.
It turns into that unwritten rule stuff, and it gets talked about in a lot of different sports. That's kind of what that turns into.
But sometimes you got to embrace the villain. You got to understand who you are. You're hated by everyone. You're the University of Texas. One play last night, Chad, who drove? I think it was Thompson that drove to the hoop. And Dylan Dessou and Sir'Jabari Rice just clobbered him. It was a foul for sure. He fell on the ground hard. And Dylan Dessou, I don't know who blocked it. Somebody blocked it. And Sir'Jabari Rice yelled, "Give me that! Give me that!" Which, if I said what I wanted to say, we get kicked off air. But
right.
Give me that-ish.
Right.
And then he stepped over Thompson, like real Allen Iverson, Tyronn Lue-like. And this was such a gaslighting move. I don't see gaslighting much in sports. This is why I was like, oh, Sir'Jabari Rice is such a bully for this. After he says, "Give me that ish," he steps over old boy, and then he gets pushed by Smith for Oklahoma State, the big man. He gets pushed. Sir'Jabari Rice turns around and gets Smith, like, "Hey, don't touch me, dog. Don't touch me. Sir'Jabari Rice, you're in the wrong, fam.
You started it.
You started it."
Yeah.
But it's like, that's the arrogance that we kind of talked about them having on Saturday against Kansas. Just getting the crowd high, Timmy Allen, everybody smiling, Dylan Dessou looking at the camera, smiling after and1 finishes. You gotta have some of that swagger, like, we don't give a damn who's facing us. Y'all can't touch us. Y'all can't play with us, and we gonna let y'all know about it.
Yeah, and we've got multiple fans texting in different versions of this. Play all the way to the end. We are the Duke of the Big 12. It's a confidence booster going into the game. Fans can get fake mad all they want. We are the bad guys anyway.
We bad guys.
There you go.
Embrace it.
Yeah, I think maybe that is what they're doing. We'll see if the Longhorns can transition the energy from last night into tonight. 61-47 last night. There was the drought, and it got a little hairy towards the end, but the Longhorns were able to play good enough defense, hold Oklahoma State down. We'll see if they can do the same with TCU. Good news overall, too, Zay. You get the Oklahoma State winner first. Now you get TCU knocking Kansas State out. So that fan stuff we've been talking about in Kansas City, you only have to deal with one of those. If you can win this game, you'll play Kansas or Iowa State for the championship, and you'll only have to deal with the regional fan thing we talked about one time.
Right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, TCU looked really good last night. Mike Miles and O'Bannon Jr., they were hooping. And, O'Bannon Jr., he's the nephew of Ed O'Bannon, who was at UCLA.
Yeah.
So, he has some good genes, that's for sure. But both of those guys had 22. They hit 11 threes last night, 4 of them apiece for Mike Miles and O'Bannon Jr. And, Chad, that 20 turnovers for Kansas State, that worries you for them going into the tournament. If you're thinking about taking Kansas State, letting them move on, they put so much on Marquise Noel. I know he's really good, first team all Big 12, but he only about 5'7", 5'8". And we're at the point of the season where everybody's nicked up. we see Timmy Allen just not playing. Timmy Allen, if it was tournament time, he'd definitely be playing, but he's not 100%. So this coaching staff, Coach Terry, they're deciding to sit him out. But everybody's hurt just a little bit. Like Tyrese Hunter, he's talked about how he's been banged up all year long. Now you're finally starting to see him get healthier, and he's starting to play well because of that. But you can't tell me Marquise Noel's little ass ain't nicked up. Like, he had 5 turnovers yesterday. Again, they had 20 total. So TCU, Jamie Dixon, they love crashing the boards. They love pushing the ball. They're a really good fast break team. And when they start hitting threes, they're very dangerous. And they did that last night. PV hit another big 3. Like, he always hits a timely 3. He ain't even a good shooter. But he hit a big 3 just like he did in Fort Worth when the Horns were down there last week. So those got the bigs. Dylan Dessou was really good last night. Brock Cunningham still has to be better. We talked about that.
Yeah,
He's kind of been a no-show lately.
Yep.
And I don't know if he just needs the mood to play well, but he hasn't necessarily played well at the mood as of late. So he's just kind of been a little invisible. Christian Bishop has to keep playing well. And, I think the Horns can get another dub tonight.
Texas and TCU coming up at 8:30. I don't think the Longhorns can count on the opponent shooting 3 of 21 from beyond the arc again. We'll see if TCU can get going, but we said it going into that last game with these two. Zay talked about it. If TCU can get that three-pointer going, that really helps them out. We'll see if the Longhorns allow them to do it or if they continue to play that great defense that they are playing. 8 o'clock pregame, 8:30 is your tip time, and we'll obviously be talking basketball throughout the show. Also, coming up at 1:05, we're going to talk to our man Eric Rains from Coke FM right down the hall. He also loves listening to the Horn because he's a big Longhorn fan. We'll talk Longhorns with him, but also we want to tell you about the Rooftop Showcase event that Coke FM has got going on Monday over at the Blind Pig Pub. That's coming up at 1:05. Up next, we'll get into a little Texas football talk. They're wrapping up for spring break. Got some updates for you from the team and NBA drama. It never goes away. Draymond Green, the latest version last night. We'll tell you what happened if you missed it on the Horn.
Chad and Zay.
Oh, man. Oh, you picked such a good song. You picked such a good song. Getting started on a Friday. Oh, mercy. First album, that's the one the chicks are into. And it's a good album. It really is. But if you ask a guy who was into Skid Row back then, they're going to tell you the second record is the one. Slave to the Grind, Skid Row. I love this. This is an album I might actually think about having you listen to.
Oh, yeah?
This thing wails. What a great album this is. This is the title track, Slave to the Grind. Sebastian Bach at his best is right here. It's also the album where he screams his voice out. But that's a topic. He just did it for rock and roll, baby. He yelled. You can hear him doing it on this album. But my God, he's great.
Screams his voice out?
Essentially, yes. When you listen to these songs, you think of, oh, well, if that took 4 takes, then what did that do? And then he goes out and tours the album.
Right.
And then eventually things were, he wasn't able to keep screaming the same way. Skid Row gets us off to a good start. I love that. Love me some Skid Row. They're back out on tour, but beware, that is not Sebastian Bach anymore. Just know what you're paying for. I think you get Dave the Snake Sabo. You might get another member or two, but you do not get Sebastian. Just know that if you're going to buy those tickets. Skid Row getting us started. To reference kind of that world, today is also the day where tickets go on sale for this Kiss tour. Kiss is kind of maybe finally stopping, and they're going to wrap up at Madison Square Garden, but there is a show at Moody Center in October, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to go see Kiss one more time. Last time around for Kiss, maybe. They've said goodbye like 5 times.
Oh, come on. So they're Tom Brady?
They're Sugar Ray Leonard. Brett Favre. Yeah. They just, I don't know. Yeah, they've said goodbye, farewell, so long, sayonara. They've come up with every way of doing tribute tours.
Sometimes it's just too hard to let it go.
Yeah, and they're one of the best marketed bands ever, so they can always go out and make a little money, so you can't blame them for that. All right, so more great music coming from Zay. Again, we'll talk music at 105 with Eric Rains of Coke FM. The Rooftop Showcase is going on at the Blind Pig Pub on 6th Street. If you need more info, well, just head on over to CokeFM.com and be paying attention at 1. Eric will come in here and talk to us about it. We'll get his thoughts on Texas, too. He's a massive Longhorn fan. He loves the Longhorn football team. He was right there in the corner of the end zone with the parabolic mic when Vince scored the touchdown. And if you look carefully,
not doing his job.
You can see Eric Rains. He stopped doing his job for that moment. He did. He did do that. All right, so Eric's coming up at 105. Plus at 1:30, our flex segment, all district team in 26-6A. If you missed yesterday, our discussion of 25-6A, we got that up for you at hornfm.com. I think the Flex guys may throw that up on the Flex page as well. And we probably should mention it, Zay. Otherwise, Mike Hards will get mad at us. His Colleen Ellison Eagles are playing for the state title.
Man.
Congratulations.
Big time.
Congratulations. It is the first time ever that Colleen Ellison has been to the boys basketball state championship. Congratulations to Jameron Keller, the guy who's going to Oklahoma State. We talked about him the other day.
I could have used him last night against the Horns.
Oh, my God, yeah. And I got to see Colleen Ellison play when they were over in Elgin, rolling through. Who's it? Oh, A&M Consolidated.
Yeah.
Supposed to be a pretty good team. Didn't look like it that night. Ellison took them out. But this one was close. Ellison only won by, 2?
Yes.
In this semifinal?
Yeah, 52-50.
Yeah, so congrats to them. Best of luck. They're playing tomorrow at 3 at the Alamo Dome. If you want to go check out those state championship games, that has got to be a good time at the Alamo Dome. So they are scheduled to tip at 3 tomorrow. More on that coming in the Flex segment. Right now, let's get some football talk in here. Texas football. Yesterday we were talking timing day, the pro timing stuff, and they're wrapping up the first part of spring practice to get ready for spring break. Zay, you're a Longhorn fan. You're following this football team. I know you're following all the different reports. What is jumping out to you right now? I know you've been watching that quarterback room pretty closely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not like the national media going all crazy of this quarterback competition. I know that it's Quinn Ewers, and unless something crazy and dramatic happens, it's going to be Quinn Ewers' job to lose. So I'm good with that. I don't lose any sleep over knowing that the quarterback battle is where it's at. I think Quinn Ewers coming into this season with Steve Sarkisian's improved play calling, where we're not throwing it to guys that maybe have broken hands on a consistent basis. And with the depth of this team, if we do have guys with broken hands, maybe we could sit them and it'd be all right, Chad.
Oh,
it'd be okay.
It's not a bad idea.
Because that wide receiver room is too deep. Love Xavier Worthy. Love what he's brought to the table. Love his passion. Love that he was willing to play through a broken hand, because at his frame, very slight. I mean, he's no Steve Smith. We know what he is. I think he has to improve catching the ball in traffic situations, but it's hard to catch the ball at all when you have a broken hand. So
that's fair.
It's fair. I think it is, you know.
Yeah.
So, but with this very deep wide receiver room, you got Jordan Whittington back, the addition of A.D. Mitchell. You hear Jonte Cook taking second-team reps. You hear DeAndre Moore taking second-team reps.
That's good news.
That's great news.
Really good news, yeah.
So we haven't really heard anything on Isaiah Neyor. You know, I expected that during this time of the season.
And he's coming off of an ACL, correct?
Yeah, it's going to take a minute.
Patience.
A lot of patience.
But once he's back, that could be really interesting.
It can.
Yeah.
So spring practice, these first 3 practices, seems like they've been going well, and just continue to get better each day. That's all it's about. Just continuing to get better each day. You don't win a Big 12 championship during this time of the year, but this is the making of winning the Big 12 championship.
So I know you're one of the people that really reacted to the updates on Maalik Murphy. So this thing right now is still holding pattern. It's still he's getting there. Where are we on the Maalik Murphy thing? Did he have an update the last day or so on Maalik?
Yes. So
and this is not what you wanted to hear.
No, basically it's another setback.
Ugh.
He had another setback, and he's going to keep on rehabbing, and just, man, it's been a long time. Like, this is the injury he had at high school.
I don't want to ask a rude question. Is it possible he's training with Kevin Durant? Is there any way that's happening?
I hope not.
No, I feel bad for the kid, man. That sucks. So hopefully it's not too much of a setback for Maalik Murphy. And then let's see now, how does that adjust? Like, does that mean that when we get to April 15th and the spring game, this is really going to be a straight up back and forth Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning show? Is that what we're going to see? Or
Maybe.
is it going to be, is he going to sprinkle in some,
Charles
Austin,
Wright?
Thank you, Charles Wright.
Yeah, probably.
You sprinkle in some of that too.
Yeah, just a little bit of everything. But if Maalik Murphy, if he can't play, then they ain't going to throw him out there.
Oh, man. I continue to wish and hope that Longhorn fans will be able to watch all of this play out. And if it is that kind of spring game, that they can watch it, take it for what it is, and come out of it thinking what you're thinking, which is it's Quinn Ewers' job. Arch Manning's going to develop. Everything will happen in its own time. Everything's good. Let's go get something to eat. That is what I hope that Longhorn fans can think. But I've watched this happen a lot, and I'm just wondering how many groups of Longhorn fans are going to walk out of that stadium going, tell you what, Dave, why can't I go to Manning, kid? That is the only concern I have.
I know.
Because it's human nature. It just is.
You're already seeing it. Like, you see clips online of Jonte Cook and Arch Manning. They already got their own handshake, Chad.
Oh, no.
It's fire.
No.
It's fire.
No.
It's fire. They already got their own handshake.
See,
the chemistry is there.
I didn't even know that.
People are saying he looks like 6'5". All of 6'5"?
That's the other thing.
He grew. What?
The other day, I'm listening to this incredible report on Quinn Ewers. He's this and he's that, and he looks great, and it's wonderful. Same exact source has this, comma. And Arch Manning looks great. You know he's bigger than Quinn? Did you realize he was bigger than Quinn Ewers? And I'm thinking, oh, Lord, here you go. Here we go. Here we go. Well, we'll see how it all plays out for Texas. And obviously, Quinn Ewers going to get every opportunity to be that quarterback, and we just hope Malik Murphy gets better quickly. Hopefully that setback won't be too much.
Yeah, listening to Jalen Ford in his press conference this week, I just love the way he goes about himself. He knows that he has to be the leader of this defense.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that he tested his, waters in the NFL and heard from scouts and what he needs to work on. And they told him that he'd be a, most likely second day, third day guy. So he wants to come back and play with his brothers. You need that kind of leadership and you need that type of motivation. And he also said guys like Jahdae Barron and Trevondre Sweat, Jordan Whittington, they're starting to become even bigger leaders than they already were. Like Jordan Whittington, he's been a leader. He's been there for, seems like the Colt McCoy days, how long Jordan Whittington's been there. So to know that he's becoming even a bigger leader with his number change and whatnot, that's huge. That's huge. And he also mentioned that Quinn Ewers has stepped up as developing as a leader too. So we need to hear stories like that. Like Quinn Ewers' leadership, that has to continue to be more vocal because we saw last year just him on the sidelines, not saying much, just looking disgruntled and looking like a lost puppy. We got to get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we know the first step, even though this is weird to say, was the fresh fade, fresh cut. Now you look more professional when they look at you on the sideline and you're talking to guys. You don't have to be yelling at guys Tom Brady style, You don't have to be doing all that, but just talking to guys, keeping guys upbeat, even if you made a mistake, letting guys know, hey, guys, that was on me. Next drive we have the ball, we're going to bounce back, and we're going to score this thing. Just little things like that with Quinn Ewers, I think that's going to be huge and beneficial to the Hornets' success in 2023.
Somebody texted, I heard Arch Manning is 6'12" and throws better than Uncle Rico. See, there's no reason for that.
I bet you I can throw this ball over those mountains right there.
But there's always a reason for you to send us a good text. Specs text line 337-3776. I tell you what, we'll put Draymond Green in the crap bag today because that NBA drama was pretty good last night. We'll talk about that. Plus, what is a Jasper? Longhorn baseball fans, I found out that for you. Plus, I got a GOAT stat and a story that's not really a story. We'll try to get to all of it next on The Horn.
Chad and Zay.
Oh, now these guys have some albums that we may have to have Zay make a trip through. Maybe both of us should make a trip through a couple of these things. I've never listened to The Wall all the way through. This is Pink Floyd. I believe that's a double album of The Wall. I'm assuming you haven't listened to that album?
No.
Would you consider listening to a Pink Floyd record?
Hell yeah.
Dude, your mind would love it. It'll expand all the way out. You just may have trouble getting it back.
Yeah, this is a groove right here.
Oh, Pink Floyd, man. They will definitely send you on a soundscape journey. Pink Floyd and Skid Row getting us started. They probably never toured together, but that's an interesting night right there if you can get those two. That would be good, especially if it's both those bands in their prime. All right, more great music coming up. We also thank everybody who is subscribed to the YouTube page. Remember to go to youtube.com/@thehornaustin. I'm seeing 772 subscribers. We're trying to get to 800. We're trying to get to 1,000. We're trying to get as many as we can, of course. Thank you for those subscribers. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. We put some of the shorter segments on there. Looks like there's a new episode of that Eyes of Texas podcast on there for you if you want to check it out. Also, me ranting and raving a little bit about the Longhorns and the Cowboys because it's been a wild week if you love our two circuses because y'all's two, well, in the case of Cowboys fans, our head coach said something really strange. And then if you're a Longhorn fan, y'all's coach said something really strange to start the week. So covering both of those as well. A lot of stuff out there today. Eric Rains is coming up. We'll talk more music with him, the Rooftop Showcase, plus our man E. Rains is a big Longhorn fan. What did he think of the game last night with the men's basketball team, and what's he looking forward to for football? We'll see if he's fallen for any of the national Arch Manning discussion, because a lot of people are at this point. Got to be careful. Got to stay patient. All right, let's get into the crap bag. I got a few things to get to. Here we go.
Chad's crap bag.
Crap bag. If you need an easy way to remember it, just think of a bag of crap.
Brought to you by AV Consultations, 255-8678, or go to avconsultations.com. Let's start with your history lesson here. Everybody's been asking this week, what's a Jasper? The Manhattan Jaspers are coming in for baseball, and I found out, and it's kind of a cool story, there's an actual guy. It's a man. It's like the Cleveland Browns story. So there's a guy named Brother Jasper from Ireland that came over to New York. This is Manhattan, New York, and he was known as Brother Jasper of Mary FSC. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but it sounds like there's a religious connotation there. Late 19th century, he heads up to school. In 1861, he becomes the head of resident students. He started the, fine arts program. He started the theater program. He started their first, student clubs and stuff like that. He is also their first athletic director. He's their first baseball coach. And while coaching baseball, he is credited with inventing the seventh inning stretch.
Oh.
How about that? So you go to games, he apparently gets credit. It's 1800s. There's a game where he notices the students are kind of restless. There's something wrong, something not right. The atmosphere is not great later in the game, and he realized it middle of the seventh. It just happened to be, and he said, you know what? He calls timeout and tells the fans, hey, kids, let's go ahead and stand up, walk around a little bit if you need to or whatever. They did it for a couple minutes and then continued the game.
Wow.
And then it catches on with pro baseball. I guess since they're up in New York, influential part of the world, catches on with pro baseball, and now maybe that's why we have a seventh inning stretch. How about that?
So he didn't make up Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
I don't think he made that one up. I didn't get credit for that, but apparently he's seventh inning stretch guy. So as you go through those 3 seventh inning stretches this weekend at the Dish, know that Manhattan is connected to that.
Okay.
Kind of cool.
That's a cool story.
There you go. So shout out to Brother Jasper. There's your story. Also, speaking of great stories, Draymond Green always provides them, Zay, and I'm really enjoying this new theme that Draymond Green has. So last night, if y'all missed it, this was Memphis and Golden State, a matchup that a lot of people like. There's some hatred between the two. There's some fire between the two. Wish we had Ja Morant on one side of it right now. Hopefully he'll be back soon. But last night, they go at it, and Memphis won the game, correct? Even without Ja.
Yes.
Golden State, by the way, is wretched on the road this year. They're
so bad.
Horrible. It's like 7-20 something on the road. So they lose. Draymond Green and what's Brooks' first name?
Dylan.
Thank you. Dylan Brooks played at Oregon. They end up in a little bit of a back and forth. And Zay, you're telling this is such a modern NBA story. This goes back to somebody's on a podcast running their mouth?
Yeah, this goes back to last year in the playoffs when the Warriors knocked out the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies, they've been talking a lot. Ja Morant talks a lot. Jaren Jackson Jr., he said some things online talking about just, they disrespect the Warriors too much for Draymond's liking. Because Draymond will let you know they got 4 rings.
Yes.
So Draymond has his podcast, and Dylan Brooks, we talked about what he said a couple of weeks ago on Where We At, just saying he doesn't like Draymond, and Draymond, if he was on another team, he really wouldn't be that good. And
right.
Draymond was like, okay, that's BS. Who are you? I got 4 rings, so this is why I talk. Yeah, I talk a lot. I have the right to talk. So last night, we saw them get into it a little bit, and yeah, Grizzlies won, but Draymond also said, who cares about March? No one gives a damn about March.
Yeah.
And I feel him.
Draymond dragging his arms over his face and everything on that. I mean, it was just so Draymond. And then I love this theme of everything to him now is I've got 4 rings, and if you don't have 4 rings, we can't discuss it. Like somebody tried to say, hey, this is kind of turned into a rivalry. What do you mean rivalry? You got to both teams have to win for a rivalry. We've won 4, they've won none. That's not a rivalry.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
And I'm like, okay, I don't know if I agree with the argument, but keep going, please. Like, keep going with that. Draymond, he can use that in, all kinds of different categories. So do you agree with Adam Silver? Does Adam Silver have 4 rings? No, I have 4 rings and Adam Silver doesn't, so I'm right. That's how it works. That's how it works from now on. Draymond Green and Dylan Brooks. Once Ja Morant comes back, that'd be a fun series to see in the West. And we'll see if Draymond and the Warriors can live that out. The idea that March doesn't matter, the stuff that matters is coming up later on. So keep your eyes on that story. A couple other things that I wanted to hit real quick. I saw this stat earlier in the week, just kind of a GOAT stat for everybody to realize. In some sports, there's not an actual GOAT discussion. It's already been done, and hockey is one of those. So there's this kid that plays in Edmonton right now named Connor McDavid, big-time stud in hockey. And he, of course, Edmonton is where Wayne Gretzky, the GOAT, got his, played most of his career. So the other night he got 2 goals, and therefore he got his 250th multi-point game. A point in hockey is either a goal or an assist. So if you do 2 of those things in a game, multi-point, right? 250 times, Zay, he's done this. He's 4th all-time in Oilers history now. Jari Kurri did it 296 times. Mark Messier did it 300 times.
Damn.
Gretzky's first place. Guess how many times? If second place is 300. 472.
The great one.
Stupid stat. The other thing to throw out here in the crap bag, it sounds like a crap bag story. It sounds like something I would go into, but I don't think it's a story at all. This thing about WWE talking to state legislators or state gambling folks about making legalized gambling on their matches, on scripted matches. Everybody starts to flip out about it, but I would remind everybody, we already have bets on scripted stuff or stuff that can be controlled. Once you do prop bets at the Super Bowl, that's what you're talking about. Chris Stapleton can control that. Whoever's singing the national anthem can control it. What gets mentioned on a broadcast can get controlled by 1 or 2 people. So all that stuff is out there. And by the way, in case y'all don't know this, even though it's not legal in every state, every time there's a WrestleMania, it's coming up, the WrestleMania or a big pay-per-view, you can bet on that. Y'all didn't know that? You can bet on the final match at WrestleMania this year. You can bet on Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. Is that a predetermined thing? Yeah. It's a scripted event, and they're going to figure that out. But you know what else you can bet on, Zay? The Oscars. You can bet on that.
Yeah.
That's not a true competition. Someone votes on it, so someone's going to know. So to me, that's a story people will flip out about when they see it and lose. Oh, my God, don't they know? They know. They know. All you people in 2023 that still want to use the word fake when you're discussing pro wrestling, you're insulting yourselves, not to mention all of them. Like, we got to get well past that stuff. Don't they know that it's not an actual? Of course they do. But this kind of stuff gets bet on all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. You told me you and your wife watched The Bachelor. I think you can bet on it.
Oh, yeah.
You can bet on The Bachelor. You can bet on The Bachelorette. You can probably bet on every, Bachelor in Paradise, Sex Island. Some farmer wants to marry a Catholic girl. Reality show. You can bet on all that stuff. This isn't new. This isn't some weird new idea.
Yeah, this year for The Bachelor, it's too easy. Bachelor Zach, he's gonna pick Kate. Kate, she's already in the Final Four. I said this from Jump Street.
You got it?
Yeah. She lives in Austin. He lives in Austin. It's too easy.
Have you put any money down on this yet?
No, I should have. I don't want to be that low ball.
I don't know what the odds are. But yeah, somebody texted in gambling for WWE matches, LOL. Oh, exactly. It's insane.
Oh, yeah, you're in the dark place. If you're gambling for that,
wow,
you're in the dark place.
Whew. I would tell people that if you're laying serious money down on like spring football leagues, XFL, World Baseball Classic, stuff like that.
World Baseball Classic.
You're in another area, right? You got to be real careful there. But there are people that make good living betting on a lot of things that you wouldn't immediately go to. But yeah, the scripted stuff, ooh, that's tough.
I like it.
That is tough. But it's already out there, so I think it's going to make sense. And the legal sports wagering that I think we've proven by now that it can happen and has its place. Now, don't ask Kyrie Irving about it when he's sitting near that fire wearing his weird teddy bear outfit, because he did have some
Snuggie.
He did have some comments on that when he was wearing his Fozzie Bear Snuggie and going off on everything. But that's another discussion. All right, there's your crap bag. We do it every day about 12:45. Up next, Eric Rains from Coke FM to talk Rooftop Showcase and his Texas Longhorns on the Horn. Ah, yes, hour number 2 on a Friday. Just let that Curtis Mayfield wash over you. We hope you are having a great March so far. And the Longhorn men's basketball team marched right into the semifinals last night with a win over Oklahoma State. If you didn't stay up for the Purple Battle, TCU took Kansas State out. So it's Texas and TCU for a third time this year. And as Zay told you in the Right Call segment last hour, breaking it down, that was a split for Texas, remember? So they're going to try to get the better of TCU and then maybe get the better of Kansas and or Iowa State, teams they also split with this season. So we got a lot of basketball that we've been hitting. We got football on the board, of course, as well. Texas spring practice stopping for spring break, but we're 36 days away from the spring game. Remember, that's April 15th at 1 o'clock. I'm Chad Hastings. He is Isaiah Collier. And to start this hour, we are going to continue to get very musical around here. You know we love our music. Zay plays great music for you. We do our album swap discussions on Thursday. We had an interesting one yesterday. And before we talk even more music with our man Eric Rains from Coke FM, I got to tell you that if you want to win a pair of tickets to Flow Rida at the Pro Rodeo, you got to go to hornfm.com. You still have a chance to get signed up for those.
So they got them
tickets.
apple bottom jeans, boots with the curls. Yeah, man, you gonna turn it up.
There it is. Eric Rains, Coke FM, joining
What
us
up,
in
B.
studio.
Rains?
I love Zay. I totally love that guy.
Love you too, my man.
That's the best intro you've ever had right there.
know.
Admit it. No one's ever sang, really put the Flow Rida on your intro.
I don't know that much Flow Rida, but I know that song. And I think everybody knows that song.
That's the hit.
Yeah. Apple bottom boots.
Right, boots with the fur? Is that
Boots
what
with
it
the
is?
fur. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. There
Boots
you
with
go.
the fur, yeah.
All
There
right.
it is.
And then you had Skid Row earlier. I'm like, I love Zay. He's bringing it
See?
hard today.
Now, am I wrong, Eric Rains, when I said that the women who dug Skid Row dig the first album, but the guys dug the second album?
Yeah, Skid Row was kind of, they had the ballads, 18 in Life and all that. And then they came hard on the second album. Yes, you were correct.
I love that record. Woo, I love Slave to the Grind.
That's genius.
Yeah, it was good. And
In both markets, that's genius.
yeah, right. You want to make sure boyfriends and girlfriends show up
Uh-huh.
to your show. And by that second album, they had both. All right, Eric Rains, we'll talk to you about some Longhorns, but we also need to talk some music. Rooftop Showcase is going on Monday. It's at the Blind Pig Pub on 6th Street. Tell the folks what happens over there.
Well, there's a lot going on. I mean, we're in the midst of South by Southwest, and what we've done for probably, I want to say 15 years, going back to the old station that I won't mention, but we put on a free show in case you're a local and you want to, intake some music and do it absolutely free. So these are shows with no wristband, doesn't cost you a penny whatsoever. And Bob Woody, who pretty much runs 6th Street, has a bunch of clubs down there, and one of our favorites is Blind Pig Pub. And these are some of these shows that we put on, Zay and Chad, over the years. It's brand new artists maybe that you haven't heard, and the next thing you know, they're the next Parker McCollum or Coe Wetzel or Cody Johnson. I mean, a brand new band, Turnpike Troubadours, played down there probably a
Nice.
little over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I kind of call it a New Faces Showcase. For me, South by Southwest, which is really, really old, I started looking at when it kind of got started. It was all about discovery of new music. So we've turned what we do on our Rooftop Showcase. Of course, we can't say South by Southwest or they'll slap your hand like March Madness or the Super Bowl. So we call it our Rooftop Showcase.
Uh-huh.
And it's a bunch of brand new bands, a bunch of those, let's put it bubbling under, if you will, that are, scratching. Some of these have record deals and some of them are really independent artists. And with the independent artists in our scene around here, it'll be like 15 bands acoustically. We call them song swaps, 5 men and women on a stage singing their songs, telling their stories. And then we'll do 3 or 4 full band shows at the very end. And again, it starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and goes till 2 in the morning.
How has
Nice.
Yeah, as it seems fun. How has this week changed from pre-COVID now post-COVID?
Ooh, I think a lot has changed. I mean, the artists are a little more protective. When I say protected, in that all the meet and greets that they used to do, and they're going to show up last moment. I love to go and people watch now because pre-COVID, I think musicians and artists, and I think we're jaded around here because we have so much music coming in. What has changed for me watching is the artist, and I don't think it's gone away yet, and I hope it never goes away. For the artist, it's that whole don't know what you got till it's gone. musicians and artists and songwriters were the first to get it taken away from them. And the last to get it back, really, because they were the last to get their jobs back. And not just the singer-songwriters, the whole industry. Like all the clubs were shut down for the longest, and they were the last to come back. So as a fan of the fans that finally got to get back out there, and man, it wasn't very long ago that we couldn't go to a show, that we didn't get to go and go elbow to elbow, and we had to do 6 feet apart and all that stuff. So that's never lost on me. And anytime I stand in front of a crowd, I'm like, don't forget, man, we didn't get to do this like 2.5, 3 years ago. And it started during South by Southwest. We literally were on the air on this station going, hey, coming up Monday, we'll be at Blind Pig Pub. And then Sunday we had to send out, all right, we're not going to be able to do this at the last minute. So, man, it ain't lost on me how cool it is to get to go see a free show. And I know sometimes, hey, I don't want to go downtown. I want to park. But I think South by is it's a little bit magical when you get down there and see people are just throwing money at this. All the companies that come to town to do something, because it's not just music anymore. You know, it's intelligence, digital, comedy, cooking, all of that, all thrown downtown. So, looking forward to it.
Blind Pig Pub, 6th Street, and like Eric said, starting at 3 o'clock and going all night. Those full band shows, Cameron Sackey Band, Braxton Keith, Midnight River Choir, which is a great name, and acoustic sets, Chris Canterbury, Cole Whittlesey.
There you go, Whittlesey.
Got it? Whittlesey. Drew Cooper, The Drop Tines.
You got it, man.
Okay. Gabe Lee, Holly Beth, Jeremy Nip.
You're on fire off Lambe.
Jordan Nix, King Margot, Mason Lively, Parker Ryan, Mila Ray, Shelby Stone, Travis Roberts, Trey Rose, and Zach Meadows.
You need to come out and just introduce the bands. You're hired. I know how much this guy loves music, so just come hang.
There it is. Go out and check it out Monday at the Blind Pig Pub. All right, we can't have you in here and not talk about the Longhorns, because I know you love your Longhorns. First off, were you watching men's basketball last night, and what did you think?
I think they didn't have much competition. They didn't play great, and they won. I'm worried about tonight. TCU is a tough team. We didn't fare so well last time we played them. I want to see the men put 2 games back-to-back. I know there was a time where, hey, they haven't lost 2 games back-to-back, and then
they did.
And then they did. So, showing up and with some consistency, and, I'd like to see that 6th man come in and play as a 5th man. And that's just me, though. But I don't know how they play against TCU. That's going to say a lot in this tournament. I'm not really worried about this tournament. I'm worried about the NCAA tournament and how they fare. And then you start hearing all the questions about RT. Is he going to be the coach moving forward?
Yeah, he needs this tournament to help his resume. If they win the Big 12 tournament and beat these next 3 teams that they possibly could beat, TCU, whether Iowa State or Kansas, the winner out of them, they get past TCU tonight, that would be huge for Coach Terry. But you can't win the tournament and then be like Shaka Smart and lose first round next week.
Yeah.
That can't happen. So
I'm with you on that one, especially.
Now, you said you want the 6th man to be the 5th man. I'm guessing you're saying Serge Jabari Rice.
Yes.
You want him in the starting lineup?
Absolutely.
Who are you taking out?
I don't know.
See, that's the thing. Last night, I was watching the beginning of the game muted, and I saw Rice, and I went, wait a minute, how far into the game are we? And then I go back and realize, oh, wait a minute, I hadn't seen that Allen wasn't playing. So then I realized, okay, this is a forced situation. Rice in, Allen out. Was there anything you saw from that, Zay? Anything you saw from that, Eric? Like, would you guys go with, is that the person to take out and start on the bench, or is it somebody else you do if you're going to start Rice?
I'd keep Serge Jabari Rice off the bench, personally, especially with Tyrese Hunter playing the way he is now. Dylan Mitchell would be the guy that I'd take out, but then you're even smaller than you were before.
Yeah, you're really hurting yourself.
You're really hurting yourself.
Yeah.
You're already getting killed on the boards. TCU beat you on the boards 46-28 last time you played them last week. So they're going to look to kill you on the boards again tonight.
Yeah.
And I want to see Carr start at the very beginning. It's like he doesn't warm up quick enough.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the game, when does he get hot? It seems like it's taking him too long to play.
Which sounds like he needed to take that shot at the end of the game to get that momentum going for tonight. That's what Eric wants.
I'm good with that shot he took. I'm good with it. As a Texas fan, we the villains anyway.
Uh-huh.
They hate us anyway. Shoot that shot to give you some momentum. It's just like being 0 for 4 in baseball, 9th inning, and you getting the double. It's just like that.
If he gets 20 or more tonight and y'all get on a run and get a lead,
Oh, man.
you and every Longhorn fan's going to start tweeting, I told you he should have taken that shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be great. All right, Eric Rains, what about football, man? What are you feeling? There's weird stories going out there. You found out about a receiver with a broken hand you didn't know about.
That's weird.
Like, that's a weird one, and quarterbacks going on. Quinn Ewers cut his hair. Where's your focus right now?
Quinn Ewers cutting his hair didn't bother me. What bothers me is the whole Malik Murphy. I mean, I hope that guy gets healthy because I think the other controversy is not a controversy at all. I think the Manning family wants their son to sit and learn for a year. So I want a backup quarterback healthy, and I want Quinn Ewers that to be his team. That's me, because I think just like y'all were talking about earlier, you have the infrastructure around you. They need a little better running game than I saw in the last bowl game. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see how that pans out. I don't think you learn enough here in the spring. I don't think that spring game is going to tell anything. I'm hoping Malik Murphy, and I've heard about how great he was in high school until he got hurt. I would love to see him on the field and actually playing.
Yeah, that is a big part of that plan too. If the idea really is to have Arch chill out, watch it, learn for a year, you got to have a backup.
Absolutely.
For if and when Quinn Ewers might need to miss a game or two, because we all know it kind of happens.
Oh, it does happen. Look at these last 2 years. Casey Thompson and Hudson Card were both beat up. Casey Thompson with that broken thumb that he had. Then you fast forward to last year, Quinn Ewers getting hurt in the Alabama game. Now you have to go to Hudson Card, who wasn't healthy then. He was dealing with that high ankle sprain. So coming into this season, you hope and pray that Quinn Ewers could play the full 12-something plus games that he's going to be thrown at. But these last 2 years, you know that you need both quarterbacks.
I think I heard this correctly. Jeff Howe earlier threw out this incredible stat. I think he said he looked at the last 15 years of Texas football, and only 3 times in 15 years, 12 years or 15 years, 3 times one guy was the quarterback through the whole season. That was it. It was like there's a Garrett Gilbert year, there's a Colt McCoy year, and I cannot recall what the third one was. But it reminds you that it's something you're going to need. So I just wonder what that would be. Back to our question earlier that Zay and I were talking about, if Malik Murphy is still dealing with something, then what do you do at backup quarterback? Are you going to be forced to push Arch along a little more than you want to and make him your backup in 23?
Well, I hope your offensive line is going to protect the quarterback, QB1, and you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But as you said, it's going to happen. It does. It seems like happens every year. Even going back to Colt, I remember that K-State game on the road.
Oh, sure. Yep. Yes, indeed. That'd be the 06 version of Colt, I think.
And with every single starter from the offensive line coming back, that makes you feel a little bit more comfortable protecting the QB. But, yeah.
You need the running game to be excellent. It's not going to be as good as it was last year, I don't think. That losing Bijan Robinson, I think, is a lot bigger than any of us thought.
Now, it was two interesting thoughts together. It's not going to be as good as it was last year, but you need it to be excellent this year?
I need it to be – it can't be as good as it was last year. I don't think it will be.
Okay.
It has to be good, though, to help your quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to sit back there and just throw bombs all day long, and I hope we don't to start with.
Man,
so you need to fix a running game.
God, I feel bad for you Texas fans.
Yeah,
I really do. It's in your DNA. Y'all want to run the ball so much. I just wish your head coach agreed with you.
Yeah, and that's it. Sark's play calling has to be better than it was last year. It has to be.
I don't care what we do. I just like to win some more games. The end.
Yeah. I'll give y'all something to think about. I haven't mentioned this on the air yet. At the very end of that last press,
I like how he says y'all, too.
I love all y'all.
Yeah, right?
Y'all's a great word, by the way.
Yeah, like he's
People
so
should use
comfortable
y'all
over
more.
in College Station.
No. That y'all was, I was going to tell y'all. Yeah.
It's fair. It's fair. I'll give you that.
A lot of people are focused on the beginning of that press conference with the Xavier Worthy comment. Rightly so, because it was weird and bizarre.
It's still bizarre to me. Why would you say that? What did that need to be said?
Way more questions than answers come out of that.
It sounds like an excuse to me, to be perfectly honest.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's again, there's way too many questions versus answers that come out of that situation. And since you mentioned it, the other day when Chip was on with us, he brought up the fact that Quinn Ewers hurt his hand during the season. Have you thought about the idea that there might have been a crossover period during the season where your quarterback was throwing the ball to your receiver, and between them, they had one healthy pair of hands?
Only you would think about that,
And
Chad.
your coach knew it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's one thing. The end of that presser, though, he was asked about balance, achieving balance. And I thought it was an interesting question. Let's see how he answers it. You know what his answer was? We need to throw the ball better to help the running game. And I thought, there it is. That's Steve Sarkisian. Longhorn fans, his solution is he didn't say, man, I went back and it drove me crazy we didn't hand the ball to Bijan more in the TCU game. He did not say that. He said,
Or the Oklahoma State game.
we need to throw the ball better to help the running game. Man, there it is. I can't make it any clearer than
I
that.
think to his defense, with what Eric was saying, losing Bijan Robinson and losing Roschon Johnson, I get what Sark means by we need to throw the ball better because the running game is just not going to be better due to who you have. Jonathan Brooks, he ain't Bijan. Neither is Keelan Robinson. Neither is C.J. Baxter. As good as C.J. Baxter's damn sure trying to be. I don't know if y'all have seen him on social media. He got the Bijan fade.
Oh, yeah?
With the braids all looked up. And Bijan said something about it. He said, yo, I like the hairdo. So he's taking the right steps. But those guys, they're not Bijan Robinson. So Steve Sarkisian's looking at it as like, okay, we're taking a step back in our run game, especially in the running back room, but we're taking a step forward in Quinn's maturity and our wide receiver depth, which means we have to be better that way, which will take some pressure off our young running backs.
Yeah, no, that part I agree. Moving forward, absolutely. Again, moving forward, he's going to throw the ball. That's who he is, and that's what he does. As if I'm a Longhorn fan, it would just disturb me a little. He still looks back at last season, and that's what he sees. We just need to throw the ball better.
I hope he looks back at last season. I hope he questions that you had the best running back in the country, and you did not hand him the ball in the games that you lost. I hope you're looking back and you're self-scouting what you actually did as a play caller, to your point, Zach.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Eric, I swear he had PTSD after Gary Patterson, who was on his staff last year, called him out after the TCU game in 2021 where Bijan had like 30-something carries, and Bijan was never the same after that and got hurt. And I think Sark came into the 2022 season like, I don't want to have Bijan banged up. I think that we're more talented, and I think Quinn is better than what he is, which we found out Quinn isn't. But again, that had to do with Sark's play calling. And that's why Bijan wasn't utilized like he should have been, because he won the Doak Walker Award, and he was going against guys like Chase Brown at Illinois. Chase Brown had way more touches than Bijan. Wasn't even close. Like 70 more touches than Bijan through the air and on the ground combined, and Bijan still won the award. And that just kind of shows you.
I got to talk football today. It's the coolest thing ever.
You see?
It's amazing.
I told you we were going to talk football.
Yeah.
With y'all.
Come to hear more.
Eric was like, I don't want to force myself on you guys to talk about this thing at the Blind Pig. I'm like, dude, we're going to talk about the thing at the Blind Pig, but we're going to let you talk some football too.
Yeah, y'all come to that thing Monday, but let's talk football.
Like, come on now.
You act like you don't got no pull around here. You walk up in here anytime you want, sit down and chop it up with us.
I listen to y'all every single day. I love this station. I love the different personalities on it. Yeah, and I love to talk sports. That's if I had my choice, I would rather talk that. And I love the fact that y'all talk it out on music too. Y'all chop it up on the music.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do like talking music, and that's why we like talking to you, because you can appreciate both of those things.
Amen.
Let's remind everybody one more time. Monday night, Blind Pig Pub, right there on 6th Street, the legendary Blind Pig. Eric, Coke FM, the crew will be out there. By the way, I didn't say it earlier. Go to cokefm.com if you want that full lineup that I read you earlier, including those full band performances from Cameron Sackey Band, Braxton Keith, and Midnight River Choir. Go check out all those acoustic artists that are going to be there doing the song swaps like Eric talked about. That's one of my favorite things from the acoustic kind of country world, when you get an artist to tell you a little bit about a song and then they play it for you. That kind of stuff stays with you, Eric Rains, for a long time if you love the song. If the song connects and you know that story right away, you never forget.
Some of the best music you'll see will be this week, regardless of who you like. I always say this if I get a chance. Go see somebody you haven't heard before. Go or open your horizons, whether it be a different kind of genre of music. But yeah, go see the new guys and girls, maybe that you haven't seen before, and give them a shot. And yes, the songwriters, the song pulls, the swaps, whatever you call it, they'll be fun. We start at 3 in the afternoon. It'll go till 3 in the morning. And then I'll show up to the morning show the next morning and be hungover.
The honesty of Eric Rains, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you, brother.
Thank y'all for letting me come on.
Thanks, E-Rain.
Eric Rains. Check out CokeFM.com for the very latest. Again, no wristbands required, no cover for that event Monday at the Blind Pig Pub. All right, coming up next, the Flex 30 segment. All district team from 26 6A. We'll run that down for you. And yes, we will give Mike Harge's Colleen Ellison Eagles their love. They're going for a state title tomorrow. We'll tell you when if you want to go check it out at the Alamo Dome. This is The Horn. All right, this is Chad. Let's talk some Apple leasing. Such an easy way to get the new car, truck, SUV, whatever it is you're looking for, they can help you do that. Maybe in this springtime we're going into here, as we get into it, you're realizing, hey, wait a minute. I got a kid heading off to college. Maybe he or she or both need a car once they get there. Great way to do it with Apple Leasing. The easy lease system makes sure you're paying for the part of the car you're using. They make it so simple because they've got all the different connections, all the different dealerships out there. You might have 4 or 5 different brands you're looking at. Don't waste your time going all around to the different places. They've got those connections. So call them up at 346-9977. Tell them what you're looking for. They will go out to all those connections, find out what they can do for you in terms of rebates and sales and the selection. Some place has a better selection than another place does. They will be able to get you the best options. It's the easiest and safest way to get a new car. They get the same discounts and incentives that the dealers do. They'll pass those savings on to you, and they'll deliver it right to your driveway if you need them to do it. So call 346-9977 today and get that conversation started. 346-9977 or go to appleleasing.com.
Chad and Zay.
Oh, look out. Zay's picking a couple of my favorites today. Good grief. Oh, wait till this one gets going. Let him get going here. Oh, come on. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, we all see black and white when it comes to someone else's fight. Anthrax. I think I can still say the name of this song.
Can you, though?
I don't know if I can call it a flower, but the name of this song is Indians.
Ugh.
Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Right? It is
You're not
Indians.
wrong, yeah.
Anthrax's take on the Native American experience in the United States of America.
You think they have to change their name like Cop Killer? Maybe change to Guardians or Commanders? Something like that?
But the band's name, you mean?
No, the name of the song.
The name of the song? Yeah, you probably.
On the album.
Guardians. No, it's not gonna work. Love me some Anthrax. Anthrax, Pink Floyd, and Skid Row today. All right, a lot of good music talk today with that Blind Pig Pub event coming up Monday night. If you want to check it out, CokeFM.com. That's right. I can talk about the Coke FM rooftop showcase event while Anthrax plays in the background. That's music snobbery right there. That's what that is. We got to bring it all together. We got to bring it all together because you can't just play in the, well, I'm just going to listen to one little type of music. Everybody blends it together.
I know we always get requests, or I get requests from Twitter to Specs text line like, Zay, you got to just play music you like. And I'm like, I like all music.
Right.
Everybody thinks just because I know more about hip hop that I don't like all the other stuff we play, but everybody has their own taste. That's why we play a little mix of everything.
Yeah, you might have said to me, Chad, I refuse to work with you in April unless you listen to all these Wu-Tang records, but you do listen to other things, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, shout out to TC, Tyler Campbell, coming in here and saying he's been loving the Wu-Tang.
Yeah, how about that? He thanked me for taking him down the Wu-Tang Clan road, and I thought, you're really thanking Zay. You're not thanking me. I'm the one that said Purple Cassette. So I've got a lot to learn, all right? I've got a lot to learn. The Purple Tape is good, though. That Cuban Links, come on, you got to check that out. I'm learning way too much. I'm learning enough to be dangerous. That's that's the story of my life as a music fan. All right, so we got a lot of stuff on the board today. More football talk coming. There's a lot of NFL notes out there, including some moves the Cowboys have made. Also coming up at 2, Zay has an interesting kind of historical take on the basketball tournament, talking about teams that have won their conference tournament and then gone on to win the national championship. How many times has that happened over the last, say, 20 years or so? He's going all the way back to 94. So back to the mid-90s. That's like 30 years, by the way.
Woo!
That staggers me. When I start to think, it was only 20 years. No, Chad.
It's been a minute.
A little longer than that. So we'll get into that at 2 o'clock. Zay's got Where We At in Society coming up at 1:45. And right now, though, let's get into the flex segment. Yesterday, we hit the all-district team in one district. We'll hit another district today. And yes, Harge, if you're listening, we'll give Colleen Ellison their love. Here we go.
Flex ATX for the best high school sports coverage. Listen to the Horn and go to FLXATX.com. Flex 30 is brought to you by Brain Vault. Brain Vault is a revolutionary and patented mouthguard that has been proven to help reduce the risk of concussion. Visit BrainVault.com and join the movement.
All righty, FLXATX.com for all the info there. Follow them on your social media. Congratulations to Colleen Ellison. They are playing for the state title. They are playing at 3 o'clock tomorrow. It's Dallas Kimball against Colleen Ellison. Jamaron Keller, the talented point guard, combo guard for them. He led them to a victory, and it was close. Just a 2-point win, Zay, but they're for the first time they're playing for a state title for that team's sake because they are a lot of fun to watch, and certainly for Mike Harge and all those Colleen Ellison fans that may be out there. We hope you get what you want. I'm rooting for Ellison tomorrow.
Yeah, congrats to Harge and his Colleen Ellison Eagles. His chest is way too poked out. He'd be bumping me and stuff in the hallways when we be switching shows, and I'm like, yo, you're way too happy. Your team's winning. You ain't won nothing.
Oh, that's what the fans do.
Oh, whatever.
Come
You don't
on.
need the rubbing in my face talking about, what Bowie done? I ain't trying to hear that, Harge. I ain't trying to hear none of that.
Now he shouldn't be like doing that.
Yeah, man. I'm mentioning, boy, you from Bowie, Zay. You from Bowie. I ain't trying to hear none of that, Michael. So congrats to Colleen Ellison, Jameron Keller, who was banged up yesterday. He got hurt.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he got hurt in that game against Mansfield Summit, and they still pulled through. He was smart because he was on the free throw line with about 1 second left, and they were up by 2. And he missed the free throw on purpose. So Mansfield Summit had to shoot like a full court shot with only about a second so left. Great miss. So they don't have a chance to set up a play and get up a shot like Valparaiso or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow, they got Arterio Morris, former school, Dallas Kimball, who's always good every single year. And the fact that they're back without somebody on Arterio Morris level, McDonald's All-American 5-star player, that just goes to show what the talent and players that they got at Dallas Kimball. So that should be a really good game. But, yeah, Mike Boynton in Oklahoma State, they could have used Jameron Keller last night. 3 for 21 from 3. Like, he's going to give them a boost once he gets to Stillwater next season.
He's such a physical player and just tough as nails. We talked about him after the game that I got to watch, and I hope they get it done tomorrow. That'd be really cool to see. But a really good leader, a guy that it never feels like anything's bothering him. So I totally get that he would understand that situation at the end of the game. Feels like he's one of those guys that he always gets the awareness of everything that is going on all at once. He never looks agitated, bothered, doesn't let things really just stays really calm during a game.
I saw him in an interview this past week before they played yesterday, and they were asking him, like, how big is this for y'all's school to get to the state Final Four, only time in the history of y'all's program. And he said, it's fun. It's something that we've been working on all year long since I've been to high school, but we still got 2 more. Job ain't finished.
Yeah.
He went Kobe on him. Job ain't done.
There you go. It's not.
He understands, and they have a chance to win a state championship, which for that area, Colleen, that's huge. Like, I remember scrimmaging against Colleen Ellison before the season would actually start over there at Pflugerville High, and they would give you everything you wanted, everything, to prepare you for the season. So there's some serious talent in that area, and shout out to the Eagles.
No doubt. All right, Zay, let's get into this all-district team. Yesterday we hit District 25 6A. Let's hit 26 6A. Obviously, that is the district with the lakes in it, and one of the lakes ended up with the district MVP. I'm assuming this was no surprise to you that Hudson Greer ends up with the MVP?
Not one bit.
No.
Not one bit. Averaging around 20-something a game. Again, only a sophomore. The things that he could do is athleticism. Reminds me of former Westlake Chaparral and Kansas Jayhawk / Texas Longhorn Luke Axel, and how good and just athletic and skilled he was. And he's just going to grow and get bigger. He's 6'8", under Coach Beatty's system. He takes some bad shots, but, again, he's young. He's just still learning the game.
Just a sophomore
He's
this
just
year?
a sophomore.
That's crazy.
Giving you over 20-something. Will dunk on you in a heartbeat. Is improving his shot year by year. And Texas offered him when Coach Beard was here, and I'm sure Coach Terry will not take that offer away. So, yeah, he deserves to be MVP, absolutely.
Offensive Player of the Year in the district, Quentin Hairston of Buda Johnson. Definitely a guy you got to see a couple times.
Yeah, love Quentin Hairston, love his motor, love his toughness. He looks like a linebacker out there. I don't know what he's going to do for his college sake, but he could play D2, NAIA, maybe go the JUCO route. Either way, he's a scholarship player on the next level. He filled it up for Buda Johnson, a big reason why they had success this season.
Defensive Player of the Year, Vonder Cahozi, the junior from Westlake. In the game I think I saw one game of Westlake that you guys did this year.
Wonder.
I like him. Is it Wonder? My bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's so bouncy. I saw him have a block this season. The player with the ball it looked like he was at the free throw line, and Wonder was at the volleyball line, and he got the block.
Man. Yeah.
Like, he got the block. The guy only took one more dribble to get to the rim, and he was at the rim, and somehow Wonder Cahozi came out of nowhere and got the block. Insane athleticism, a huge part of Coach Lucero's ball club, and the reason why they had success over there at Westlake. Co-district champs.
No doubt. The newcomer of the year, congrats to Justin Lowe, the sophomore out of Dripping Springs. Coach of the year, Ben Kennison of Buda Johnson. That's not a surprise with the run they had.
Nope. First year in 6A. winning the district. Wow, impressive.
Big time. All right, let's go through it. First team all-district, Bennett Blackerby, the senior out of Anderson. Lucas Bowl, a senior from Bowie. Braden Spinden from Bowie. Also, Del Valley's Demarion Williams, senior. A couple of Dripping Springs guys. We mentioned Judson Lowe as the newcomer of the year. Lowe is on the first team. Jackson Reagan, the junior from Drip, also on that first team. Jackson Vandegaard, junior from Buda Johnson, and Sam McKinney. Zay, back to this Buda Johnson team. Those two guys definitely impact players on that team.
Absolutely, and they're going to be the pick to win the district next year because of those two guys coming back as seniors. And look, you just mentioned Dripping Springs with Jackson Reagan and Judson Lowe. Both of those guys are underclassmen also. So I think Dripping Springs, they're going to be right there at Buda Johnson, Westlake, and Lake Travis to win the title.
Other guys on the first team all-district, this is District 26, 6A, Chaz Beagle of Lake Travis and Jaden Thomas of Lake Travis, both making the list. And we'll finish out with a couple of Westlake guys, Blake Meary and Gavin Paul. And I know you got a chance to take a look at those guys as well when you saw Westlake. That is the first team all-district 26, 6A.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Remember being on that list back in my day. Feels very good. All that work that you put in the offseason to see your name on that first team. Yeah, good job, fellas.
No doubt. Also, shout out to the second team all-district guys in 26-6A, Caleb Hernandez and Cameron Morrow of Aikens make the second team. Campbell Duncan of Anderson, Mitchell Whitlow of Anderson, Mason Wasserberger, great name from Bowie. The junior makes it. Luke Spazio, is it Spazio? Luke Spazio. If I got that wrong, Luke, I'm sorry, from Drip. Zariah Kincaid from Buda Johnson making the second team. Hunter Duran and Teddy Tapkin from Lake Travis. And we'll finish it up. Oh, goodness, here we go. Come on. Westlake Junior, Max Poroshatherman?
Purusha Thurman.
Purusha Thurman.
Yeah.
Purusha Thurman.
Purusha Thurman.
Whew, man.
Yeah.
That is a tough.
Yeah, I would always be like, hey, Roger, what's this name? And he's like, Zay, I just told you this 5 minutes ago.
I know. That's a tough one, though. Max, congratulations to you. And we're sorry if we messed that name up. Second team all-district for District 26, 6A. And again, we'll post that just like we did yesterday for 25, 6A. And we also got the info. Shout out to Zay and the coaches that helped us out to get the lists. And we're going to get those sent out on social media and stuff where you can see the full list. And always check out flxatx.com for the very latest. We do the Flex segment every day at 1:30. And again, best of luck to Colleen Ellison and all those teams going for a state title. It is that special time of year. If you want to head to the Alamo Dome tomorrow, they start at 8:30 in the morning. The 1A championship there at
Oh, my God.
Grayford and Jayton at 8:30 a.m. 10 a.m. is Hitchcock and Childress. Is it Lipan and LaRue LaPointer, who, by the way, they took out Flatonia. So shout out to Flatonia. They had a great year, but they were taken out. That's the 2A, and then 5A, Kimball and Colleen Ellison, 3 o'clock tomorrow. You'll also have the 4A and 6A. They just haven't been set because they got to do the semifinals today.
Man, them 1A and 2A schools, they're going to go to the Alamo Dome and be like, man, this different. This different. I don't even think we got breakaway goals at our school.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Right.
That is a big contrast.
If I coached at that level and we made it that far, oh, you know I'm going Gene Hackman Hoosiers and putting the little man on the shoulders and be like, what's the rim say? 10 feet. Free throw line, 15 feet.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
That's the same thing that we got down at our school at Hickory, gentlemen. It's the same.
Coach, yes. What's that thing right there? What do you mean? Right there. That thing under the rim. That's a net. Will you stop? Okay. They have nets and we don't. Calm down. Can we go shoot, please? It's not that bad.
Coach, what's this line out here on the perimeter?
What's this?
What's this line? Oh, it's a 3-point line, gentlemen. Sorry, we don't have that.
It's like small schools.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they've got 2 of what we had. Yes, we play half court and they have a full. Come on, don't do that. Yes, we play in a driveway, and they've got this. We're fine. We're good. That's got to be a big change for teams. You're right. Some of those, especially the small classifications. Best of luck to all those teams going for a state championship this weekend. Where we at in society with Zay is coming right up, and then at 2 o'clock, Zay's going to tell you how many teams from 94 to now have won the conference championship tournament in the postseason and then gone on to win the national championship. We'll talk about some of those teams coming up. Also, some NFL notes, including the Cowboys trying to save some cap money by restructuring a couple of big-time contracts. We'll tell you about that, too, on the Horn.
Chad and Zay.
I'm going to tell you what. Even the Bulls are going to dance when he does this one. Every cowboy, cowgirl, barrel racer, they're going to go crazy. If you have not gotten your tickets yet to Flo Rida out at the old Pro Rodeo.
Yeah, there's going to be some people with some tight-ass jeans on that might split them jeans trying to get low.
He may be talking about apple-bottom jeans, but all I know is there are going to be some Wrangler jeans moving. There's going to be some Wranglers and boots trying to get low, low, low. Go to hornfm.com for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Flo Rida. Have you ever seen the Flo Rida show live?
I have not.
No?
I know he was down here with, what do we call that?
Longhorn City Limits?
Longhorn City Limits, that's right.
After a game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know he did at least one of those.
He's a legend. He has hits.
Heck yeah, man. And also a unique name in that I don't know if I've ever heard anybody else do that. Like, he's from Florida.
Yeah.
And he just took his state and said, "No, I'm gonna make my name out of it."
Genius.
What? Flo Rida. By the way, it took me at least 5-6 times hearing it before I figured it out.
Oh.
Put it together
Yeah.
later. I know.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, you know. You've known me long enough to know that it's amazing it took me. It is amazing I got there at some point. So Flo Rida, Anthrax, Pink Floyd, Skid Row. That is a music show I would love to check out sometime. More great music coming from Zay. Got that great beat coming for you at the beginning of our third hour. We also are going to talk some NCAA tournament, teams that have won their conference tournament and the national championship. Also, some NFL notes for you coming up. There's a lot of interesting stuff out there, including what Jameis Winston's going to do with what the Saints put in front of him. Adam Thielen is on the market if you need him, but is he too old at this point? We'll get into that. Plus, the Cowboys have restructured Dak and Zach. Sounds like a boy band. It's Dak Prescott and Zach Martin. They've restructured to save about $30 million. So now what do they do with that? Does that enable the Cowboys to figure out something with Ezekiel Elliott? Are they going to restructure that? Or does Ezekiel Elliott just end up being cast off? That's one of their first big questions, eh? Are they keeping 21?
We know Jerry Jones wants to,
yeah.
but doesn't make sense for the team and moving forward. I don't think so. Let him walk.
Let me tell you something, Zay. We're almost to St. Patrick's Day. And I love me some Zeke. I'm the one that told him to go to that parade and say hi to the girls. I will not let him go. I love Zeke.
Yeah.
He may cry.
I mean, obviously they've gotten Zeke a dog trainer because them dogs haven't acted up in a while.
Yeah,
thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
That's growth. That
and
is Zach
growth.
Martin and Dak Prescott restructuring their contract so they don't get hit with the cap. That's growth, too. Good job for them. That's what Walter Payton Award winners do.
There you go.
Dak Prescott.
There you go.
I like to hear it because you need to give up that money. 17 interceptions, and what you were making didn't add up. It didn't add up. So, just with the 5 games you didn't play, didn't add up for me. And I know for a lot of Cowboys fans also. So you doing that. Good job.
So you're good with the restructuring.
Yes.
And if you were a fan, you might ask him for a little more.
Baby steps.
Okay.
Baby steps. I want to have his bread.
Okay.
I do.
Fair enough.
Still,
we'll talk.
It's a start.
So we'll talk some NFL, too, coming up in your 2 o'clock hour. Let's go where are we at in society, see what Zay wants to talk about today. Here we go.
Where are we at in society today?
All right, Zay. I see I have something on Twitter I need to look at.
Yes.
Yes? Okay, here we go.
Okay, so it is confirmed according to AP Entertainment.
Whoa.
Jonathan Majors, who is blowing up. Like, this dude, him and Michael B. Jordan together in Creed, the women that are going to go watch that movie that don't know a damn thing about boxing, haven't seen the first 2, have no idea who Rocky Balboa is, even exists.
Oh, yeah, they don't know.
They have no idea, are going to go just to see those guys duke it out in the ring.
Yep.
In the fictional film Creed 3.
Mm-hmm.
He is playing Dennis Rodman for sure in an upcoming movie called 48 Hours in Vegas, which comes from Dennis Rodman's, I guess, weekend departure from the 98 Bulls where he told MJ and Phil, I'm losing it, fellas.
Was this during the finals or just a playoff series?
I want to say just playoff series.
Okay.
It might have been.
God, this is it's Rodman, so you got to keep it all straight. Like, is this the time he went to Vegas, or is this the time he was a tag team partner with Hulk Hogan in WCW. Like
going against Malone and them.
all of that happened. It may have even been the same run, the
Yo,
same time off.
Who was Malone's guy? Was that Diamond Dallas Page?
It was DDP.
Oh,
Good call.
Diamond Cutter, baby.
Bang! Well done.
Yeah, okay. Fired moment. But yeah, Jonathan Majors, which he could act his ass off. Like we talk about Creed, he's done a lot of good things, like Lovecraft Country on HBO, even though it had one season. It was really good.
I did not watch that show, but if he's in it, it makes me want to watch that show more.
Yeah. Now, didn't you see Ant-Man and the Wasp?
I did, and they're setting him up to kind of be the next big villain in the Marvel world. He is, how do I say this? He's very magnetic in the way he speaks. He can say like 5 words in a way that no one else would be able to say it. He just draws you in.
Right.
He makes you lean forward. So the idea of him playing Dennis Rodman fascinates me. I am all in on this idea. Normally, when somebody goes into like a biopic idea or whatever, I get a little antsy. And Dennis is hard to cast.
It's going to be tough.
Dennis is a capital I icon, and he's a unique individual. But I'm going to trust Jonathan Majors from what I've seen here, and I don't know if I'm going to get to see it in the theater. My wife's not as interested in Creed as I thought she would be, but at some point I've got to see that movie channel, whatever it is. Those two guys are great. Michael B. Jordan is already great, and then Majors, yeah, I'll definitely see that movie at some point. It's got to be good.
It's definitely going to be entertaining. I mean, who knows? I want to say I was the Carmen Electra era, too.
Absolutely.
Where he was dating her, so you would have to think who could play her.
I think she's in Vegas with him.
Right.
Yeah, that's a weird casting. I don't know who you get to play Carmen Electra necessarily.
Like,
but so you're in on this? You'll
yeah,
check
I'm
it
in
out?
on this.
Yeah,
Now,
okay.
I'm going to have to see Jonathan Majors hoop a little bit because you're Dennis, so you don't have to have a good jump shot. We know that wasn't Dennis's forte. That wasn't what he did.
Wait a minute. It's called 48 Hours in Vegas, not I'm an NBA player. Yeah.
So?
He didn't take a shot in those 2
But
days.
I gotta be, it has to be believable, Chad. I gotta look at Jonathan Majors and say maybe he can grab 25 rebounds in a 48-minute game.
I see. I got you. Okay.
You know, maybe he will tempt Karl Malone and get him thrown out of games or doing something dirty or get texts and have guys like Alonzo Mourning saying that he's effing crazy.
Uh-huh.
I need it to be believable. I just don't need the craziness of Rodman. Rodman was a very good athlete. I need to believe that.
Do you think Jonathan Majors needs to lose a little bit? Does he lose weight for this role? Because he's now, he's got to be pretty bulked up for
yoked.
Creed.
Yeah.
So does he need to lose weight to be Dennis Rodman? Does that face need to narrow out a little bit? And because they're going to need to put the tats on him, they're going to need to put the piercings on. This was Dennis Rodman in Vegas.
Hair.
This wasn't Bad Boys Dennis, right? The hair, everything was there. So they're going to need to do that. But I think he can pull it off. I think he can pull it off. So maybe need to drop a couple of those Creed pounds. Need to take off some Creed weight because that's not what Dennis Rodman was carrying around at that time.
What's odd is Dennis Rodman, as weird as he was / is, was a sex symbol. Like he was with Madonna, Carmen Electra. He was with some women.
Oh yeah, women loved him.
They love him.
Yep, because he was that ultimate bad boy at the time. Plus, he's that ultimate bad boy that didn't mind, like, he was just would show up in the dress, or he would show up, piercings and tats, and wore that wedding dress. And
yeah, he got a little Harry Styles in him.
Just right, exactly. He'll gender bend it, not care. Androgyny, all that stuff. Where it's
in
like,
the 90s,
whatever.
too.
Yo, yeah, he's fine. No problem. That's a good movie. 48 Hours in Vegas, and we'll keep our eyes peeled for when that thing comes out. I wonder if that's a major. We going major movie there, or are we going like streaming service movie, you think?
I think that's major movie material.
If it's him.
With Jonathan Majors, yeah.
Right? If it's that kind of casting, maybe it has a shot.
By the way, Mike Hart just sent me a picture of him and Diamond Dallas Page and Chip Brown throwing up the diamond.
Is that right?
Wow.
Nice. I didn't know those guys.
It's dope. It's a dope pick.
I did not know those guys met DDP back in the day. That is very, very cool. I love me some DDP.
Me too.
I started doing DDP yoga when I was 40, and it's definitely helped me out. I don't do enough of it now. Don't tell DDP. But it works. It works like hell. It saved people's lives. He saved Jake the Snake Roberts' life with that stuff. So I will never say a bad word about DDP. That was a wild time. DDP, Karl Malone against Rodman and Hollywood Hogan. just crazy. And there is a story I just heard on a different documentary. Hulk Hogan tells a story that recently I hadn't heard it. Phil Jackson called him on the phone at one point asking, where is Dennis? What is going on? And all Hogan could tell him was like, I don't know, brah. I'm gonna tell you, he'd rather hang out with us, brother. You know, I'm not his babysitter, brother. But Phil Jackson called Hulk Hogan to try to find Rodman.
Hulk, we're trying to three-peat here.
Yo, hey, man, we are trying to get this basketball thing figured out. I got Michael Jordan breathing down my throat, breathing down my neck here. Can you pay attention, please? All right, there's your Where We At in Society. We do it every day, about 1:45. 2 o'clock hour coming up. Teams that have won the conference title and the national title, plus Cowboys restructuring things. For what, though? We'll talk about it, try to figure it out on the Horn.
Chad and Zay.
All right, hour number 3 on a Friday. Hope you're having a good one. So much going on, including the Longhorn men's basketball team. Semifinal round tonight against TCU. It is an 8:30 tip. If they win it, they'll play the winner of Iowa State and Kansas. They go at 6 o'clock tonight, by the way, so they would know the opponent going in. Texas at 8:30 tonight right here on the Horn. Remember, that means baseball goes to 1260 and 101.9. I'm Chad Hastings. Isaiah Collier is here. He picks a beat out, specially for all of us, to start the third hour. Zay, it's the first time I've heard you play a beat that appears to have like a flute in it, so the only guess I would have is Lizzo.
Lizzo?
Since she plays the flute. That's all I got.
I guess that's a good one, a good guess, but
No.
it's not Lizzo. No.
Okay, what you got?
Ashanti.
Okay.
You remember Ashanti?
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Murder Inc. Her and Ja Rule had classics. Irv Gotti on the beat. The song Happy. I'm so happy.
Oh, yeah.
baby.
All right, here's a great discussion because it just makes me smile to think about it. Who has a better smile in their prime, Ashanti or Aaliyah?
Ooh.
Because both of them are magical smiles.
Gosh.
Both of them are like change your day, melt the ice cream kind of smiles.
Yeah. Ugh.
Who's better?
Might as well ask who do I want, Magic or Bird? Like, good
Right?
grief.
I mean, just incredible smiles, incredible talent. Aaliyah, we lost way too soon. Now, Ashanti, still with us? Still performing?
I mean, now, because you just said something, so.
Well, no, I'm just saying, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like she's obviously
Yes,
still
she's
alive.
out, yeah.
Still performing, though.
Yes.
Still in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She looks.
Still looks great?
Still looks great.
Oh, I love that. Love that. Love it when the pretty performers stay pretty over time. Find a way to keep it going. That's always good. Because then all of us old, ugly folks can go see them and still enjoy their prettiness. The Ashanti beat gets us started this hour. We got a lot of stuff to get to. Why Today Matters coming up. There are some monster birthdays today. Maybe the most monstrous birthday in music in my life is today. We got to give Rick Rubin some love. We'll do that at 2:30. But right now, we got to get into we'll get into a little bit of football. We talked to a little Cowboys at the end of last hour. Cowboys restructuring Dak Prescott and Zach Martin to try to make room for what is the question? And Zay, I'm reading. The Cowboys will have 18 players set to become free agents. Plus, they're trying to figure out, can they keep Ezekiel Elliott? Can they keep Tyron Smith? That's another guy, another big name to remember. Tyron Smith is something they got to try.
Tyron Smith's in what, year 14,
They are-
15?
But apparently they still love the man and they want him around. Is there still enough of Tyron Smith that you need to be reworking deals and paying him all the money?
I don't think so.
I don't know either.
I'm good with letting him go.
I don't know. But
And what Tyler Smith has done,
right, what he showed you already.
what he showed you this year,
Uh-huh.
being able to move around on that line, his versatility. Yeah, Tyron Smith, he's just injury prone old fella up in his 30s. He's going to Canton.
Yeah, he is.
Hell of a player,
No
Hall
doubt.
of Famer, but there goes that loyalty stuff. Like,
Yeah.
get out your feelings, Jerry.
No, that's it. He can't do it. No,
You can't do it.
He lives in those feelings. Dak Prescott was going to make $31 million in base salary this year. The salary cap hit was going to be $49 million. Now they got it down to $27. In 2024, his cap hit will be $59 million if they don't do anything about it.
restructure that one too.
Which
Dak.
they will. They're talking about restructuring with him and with Zach Martin, maybe doing new long-term deals with one of them, maybe with both of them, but that did happen today. Cowboys create about $30 million in cap room, so they were going to be over the cap. Now they're slightly under the cap.
Yeah, Zach Martin, he could go and say, yo, I ain't giving up no money. I was first team All-Pro again this year. Now, you and I, we've talked about, we don't think that's deserving this season. I don't think he deserves that first team All-Pro.
Right.
But he could say, and his agent could say, why would we let any money go with what we did this past year? The production's still there. But hey, he's being a good sport. I think he sees the writing on the wall also. He doesn't have much time to win. He doesn't have many years left either. So with this team getting to the Elite Eight for the NFL's sake, some of them think they're close.
Mm-hmm.
And doing moves like this for Zach Martin and Dak, this is big time. This is big.
Yeah, trying to find that one click
Yeah.
to get there. $8.8 million is what they clear by restructuring Zach Martin. So we got that going on in the NFL. There's a lot of other notes out there in the NFL we can get to. We also were going to talk a little tournament here as Zay found an interesting journey through history. So Zay, the discussion this time of year is: do we need conference tournaments? Are they useful? Are they meaningful? Are they useless? Are they just wearing teams out? We're seeing teams get guys hurt and stuff like that. So you looked at teams that have actually won their conference tournament title and then gone on to win the national title in the same year.
Correct.
All right, so how far back we going here?
We're going to 94. So we're going to start with that really talented Arkansas team that won it all.
You're starting with
that
Bill.
had Carlos Williamson.
I was going to say you're starting with
boys.
Bill Clinton's favorite basketball team of all time, right?
For real.
The Corliss Williamson. Was there a Ferguson on that team? Was that his name, or am I mixing up my Arkansas guys? I think I'm mixing them up. There's somebody else I'm thinking of a shooter, and I can't think of his name. Scotty something like that.
Scotty Thurman.
Scotty Thurman. Thank you.
Yeah, he used to light it up.
So it would have been that team. Okay, so we're going back to 94, but did Arkansas win the SEC that year?
They did not.
Okay.
They didn't. Did not win the SEC, lost in the SEC semifinals.
All right, so go through it however you want. Talk to me about these teams.
All right. UCLA next year won it all. Didn't even have a tournament. Pac-12 being weird, or Pac-10 back then being weird.
Didn't have a tournament.
Had no tournament.
What is that?
I don't know.
Hey.
I don't understand that. Makes no sense.
Hey, are y'all tired? That's okay, man. Pink Floyd's coming through with a laser light show. Let's just not do a tournament. Cool. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe if they would have done those tournaments, they wouldn't be in the situation they're in now, struggling, scrapping.
True.
96, Kentucky, one of the best teams ever. Rick Pitino's squad. Who they have, like Derek Anderson and Antoine Walker and
Maybe a little Tony Delk?
Tony Delk was
it the
on
Tony
that squad.
Delk years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you remember like they had like swim trunk shorts back then? Like the different colored shorts. I know you probably hated that.
I thought Kentucky looked pretty badass in that.
Really?
Era. Yeah, I thought they looked pretty sharp.
Yeah.
They looked all right.
I liked it.
I could deal with it. I could deal with it.
Lost in the SEC finals.
Okay.
So no teams so
they didn't
far.
do it.
Yeah. 97 Arizona, Mike Bibby. Who else is on that team?
Bibby
Michael
and Simon?
Dickerson. Yeah, Simon.
Yep.
That team was really good. No tournament.
No tournament.
So it goes back to the weird Pac-10 stuff.
All right.
98, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Won the SEC.
Okay, so 98 Kentucky will be the first team that
They'll be the first
they'll
one that
have,
we're
okay.
talking about.
All right.
99 UConn. We talked about them this week with Calhoun.
Yeah.
Kelly Elamine, Rip Hamilton. Won the Big East that year. Won the national title.
There you go. So back to back.
Back to back.
All right.
Now back to back to back.
Mateen.
Mateen Cleaves, 2000, Michigan State, won the Big Ten.
Okay.
Also won the national championship.
I like it.
Had Jason Richardson on that squad. Good team.
Okay.
2001, Duke, one of my favorite teams of all time. All 5 of those starters went to the NBA. Dunleavy, Chris Duhon, Jay Williams, that you see on the 4-Letter Network, Carlos Boozer, and Shane Battier, who was National Player of the Year. They won the ACC tournament.
Oh, so we're talking 4 years in a row it happened.
4 years in a row.
Interesting. Okay.
2002, Maryland, lost in the ACC semifinals. Steve Blake, Juan Dixon.
Good team, but didn't do it. Okay.
Didn't do it. 2003, Syracuse, team that us Texas fans cannot stand.
We just talked about them, yeah.
Lost in the Big East semifinals.
All right, so they didn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
04, UConn, Ben Gordon, Emeka Okafor,
Yeah.
won the Big East tournament.
Ah, there you go. 04 UConn. So Jim Calhoun had 2 teams that did it. 99 and 04 did it.
That's right.
Okay.
2005, UConn, which was unbelievable. Raymond Felton and Rashawn McCants lost in the ACC semifinals.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah, they had Marvin.
Gotcha.
Yeah, who else did they have? Sean May. That team was really
You said
good.
UConn. North Carolina is 05,
I said,
right?
yeah, 05.
05 is North Carolina, right? Okay, gotcha.
Back-to-back champs, 06, 07, Florida.
Billy Donovan?
Billy Donovan team, Joakim Noah,
One of
Al Horford.
them had to have done it.
Won both.
Did they really?
Both that
Oh,
year, SEC tournament.
That is great. So 06 and 07.
Right.
They won both.
Yeah, Corey Brewer, Al Horford, Joe
Dude.
Noah, squad.
That's a badass double-double right there. 2 SEC tournament titles, 2 natties.
I don't think that team gets talked about enough.
No, they do not. You're right.
They were really good.
That's our last back-to-back, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
2008 Kansas. Mario Chalmers hits the shot. They won the Big 12 tournament.
Okay. 08 Kansas over Memphis, right over Calipari?
Yes.
Yep.
North Carolina 2009 lost in the ACC semifinals.
All right, so they didn't do it.
2010 Duke won the ACC tournament.
2010 Duke did it, okay?
2011 UConn won the Big East tournament. This is the Kimball Walker year. This is when they won like 5 games at the Garden.
Oh, okay.
And then went on to win the national championship.
Ooh. So this is 3 UConn teams now.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, Calhoun was in
Dude.
his bag. Calhoun's underratedly
Oof.
amazing.
One of the best villains we lost.
Right?
Oh, he's so great. Love that guy. All right.
2012 Kentucky, Anthony Davis lost in the SEC semifinal or SEC finals. I mean.
Okay. All right.
2013 Louisville, Pitino won the Big East.
So they did it.
Correct.
Okay. And I'll count that even though the NCAA doesn't want me to. Go ahead.
2014 UConn, this is Kevin Ollie's team. They lost in the AAC
Oh,
finals.
okay. But then went and won it at Jerry World.
Right.
Yeah.
2015 Duke lost in the ACC semifinals.
Okay.
2016 Villanova lost in the Big East finals.
Last second shot to win it, right? That's 2016? Jenkins?
Yes.
In the
that
Natty?
seems right. Yeah.
For the Natty? Yeah.
2017 North Carolina lost in the ACC semifinals.
Okay.
2018 Villanova won the Big East.
So 2018 Villanova did it.
Yeah.
All right. That's the Villanova. So that was Jay Wright's. Is that his second one?
Yeah. With DiVincenzo and Bridges and
Gotcha.
Brunson.
Okay.
Where were we? 2019 Virginia lost in the ACC semifinals.
Okay.
Wasn't a tournament the next year, COVID.
Right.
2021 Baylor lost in the Big 12 semifinals. And then last year, Kansas won the Big 12.
So Kansas 2022 is the last one.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So start it with the run from 98 through 01, 4 years in a row. In the end, 1, 2, 3 UConn teams have done it. 2 Duke teams have done it. 1 Kentucky, the back-to-back Florida, Louisville with Pitino. That's interesting. And the last 2, Villanova in 18, Jay Wright's last title, and then Kansas last year did it. So 13 teams since 94 have won the tournament title and then gone ahead to win the Natty. It's not crucial, but it can happen, and it doesn't always take your legs and destroy the team
Yeah.
and all that. If you're
Yeah.
good, you're good.
If you're good, you're good. That's what it shows.
Right.
I know everybody's been trying to look at it, especially going into your bracket and you're trying to choose. It just makes your bracket even tougher because you have no idea which year it's going to be. Somebody that won their tournament or somebody that benefited from the rest
Yeah.
because you could do both.
Sure.
And that's what we've been saying, And if you're Rodney Terry in Texas, you want to go for the title, especially for his sake. You want as good as resume as possible. You just won the Sporting News Coach of the Year for all of the college coaches in the game in the country. And now you have a chance to beat some really good teams to win a Big 12 tournament.
I also think you know as well as anybody, and especially in the sport of basketball, just like all other sports, you need the practice, you need the visualization of what can happen. It tells you you're championship worthy. It tells you, even though you want to believe it, you actually go through it. We play, we prepare. Team meal, team practice, walk through, hotel, bus, stadium, we win, confetti, cut nets. All those things get imprinted, I think, in your brain a little bit. Then you get to the tournament, and it's just short little things. Okay, got to get through 2 games, then we get to advance to next week. Now we're going to do it again. And you just keep going through it, and you get the rhythm. The conference tournament helps you kind of get started with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that can
Especially in this conference tournament. As good as the teams are,
Right.
it's the best. Like, that. You've been through it. And like you said, all of the mental psyche things that go into winning, that go into your confidence. And I do have some nerves. Even if they win it all, it's going to be with this 8-man roster because it seems like Timmy Allen, he's not going to play tonight, and he's probably not going to play tomorrow if Texas advances. So that means these guys that are playing, these 8 that are playing currently, they might be a little bit more tired because now they're getting more minutes than they usually would have if Timmy Allen were playing.
By the way, real quick, would you go for tonight and moving forward? Timmy Allen can't play. Would you do the same thing he did last night and go with Rice?
Yes.
So you do the same thing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we would assume that Jabari Rice is going to look a little more comfortable because I agree with you. Oh, it just looked like a little bit of a newborn deer at the beginning of the game. Like, wait a minute, I'm out here at the beginning of the game? What is going on? Jabari Rice is not used to playing with guys that haven't started sweating yet. That was freaking him out. You could tell. It's like, why aren't these guys sweating? Why are the hair wet and all the, he's just used to getting in a game that has already gotten its rhythm, and he's not used to being a part, at least in a while, of starting the rhythm.
Yeah, because you could see on the bench kind of how the game is going, kind of what you need to do and mentally prepare yourself like, oh, okay, I can already see they're putting the double teams on Marcus. Every time he comes off this high pick and roll, there's a double there. I need to be ready to shoot on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
Where when you're in the game, everything's happening so fast, instinct just takes over, so you don't have a chance to think those things through that you would coming off the bench.
Yeah,
so it's a little bit of a change for him, and he adjusted well and ended up having a good game.
What I hope happens for both of these guys is once Timmy Allen's able to play again, hopefully Timmy Allen being able to watch a game for a couple gives him a new perspective on it and helps him. And same thing with Rice.
For sure.
Gives him the perspective on how does a game start. If I have to be a part of a start of a game, how does that work? And then also it gives him more perspective on what he's normally going to do, which is, working his way in. Texas and TCU tonight, and you would assume it's going to be Jabari Rice again in that starting lineup. They're going to rest Timmy Allen again. Nothing serious. If this was a tournament game, he'd be playing. Since it's a Big 12 game, they're going to go ahead and let him rest tonight. All right, so there's a good look at some of the history of this tournament. Can Texas do what Kansas did last year? Win a Big 12 tournament championship and then go ahead and win a national championship. We're a long way from that, but just letting you know, it can happen in this conference. Obviously, we know it can happen in this conference, winning national titles. Since the last 2 years, it has happened. Coming up next, Why Today Matters. My favorite music snob of all time has a birthday today. He's also one of the most important guys in music in our lives. We will get to him. A lot of NFL on the board as well as we head towards free agency. Plus, tomorrow is a huge holiday in the world of music. And if you know, you know. This is The Horn. All right, let's get a little underdog fantasy going. It is almost that time. Of course, the tournament comes up next week, but you got conference tournament action where you can get a pick'em game going right now. The easiest place to play fantasy sports. Get a pick'em game going. I was telling you about the options with Texas and Oklahoma State. Last night, you got options on whatever conference you're looking at today. You can go in, look whether your favorite player is going to have a higher or lower stat total in the game for your chance to win big. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single game. Just pick between 2 and 5 players to build the pick'em entry. Earlier, I was also looking at golf. You got the Players Championship going on. If you want to put something down, make one of your pick'em game guys a golfer, you can do that too. And you can take a look at just basic stuff of, birdies, the number higher or lower, bogeys, the overall score. You can do a lot of different things with it. Check it out. Look at the Rivals picks. They've got the pick insurance option for you as well to make it even easier. Sign up today with the promo code HORN. Get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with my promo code HORN to get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Must be 18 or over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org. It's the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. Get it on your phone. Get it ready to go in time for that tournament coming next week with Underdog Fantasy.
Chad and Zay.
Other than the fact that it has to be edited, this day just got a lot better. Oh, my goodness. If you've never heard the unedited version of this song, please go find it. Please go listen to it as soon as possible. It's Chad and Zay, and if you don't know, this is Jay-Z from the Black Album. It's 99 Problems, and there's one big reason Zay is playing this, and I appreciate you for doing it. I was literally just thinking of this song.
Really?
Yes, because I was looking him up to try to figure out kind of how I wanted to talk about it. And I thought of this song, and it's perfect. So 99 Problems, Jay-Z, Flo Rida, Anthrax, Pink Floyd, Skid Row, they've all been on the show. The great Ashanti beat started the hour. This is my favorite Jay-Z song, by the way. I have not, and it makes sense because I'm me. The rock quality of this song, that guitar thing that never stops, the bah, bah, I'm going to love that. Then once I learn the full story, there's just never, and I love a lot of Jay-Z songs. I haven't heard one that tops this one yet. I'm still the 99 Problems guy if I had to pick it. I'll just play this song randomly, just out of nowhere, and then go to something else.
Right.
This is like a palate cleanser for me. I'll just play that song because I just love the way that song rolls out.
I think it did something for Hove because he was so smooth on previous tracks. And then when he got to the Black Album, there was just a certain raw and anger that he put out. That was like, this ain't the same smooth Jay-Z that will steal your girl in a heartbeat, president of Rockefeller Records. Like, this ain't him. He's going back to like selling crack, Marcy Projects Jay-Z.
Yep. And there might be a white guy with a beard with a birthday today that gets a little credit for it.
For sure.
As to why the album's cool. Let's go Why Today Matters, and we'll give him his love today. All right, Why Today Matters on March the 10th. March the 10th is Rick Rubin's birthday. Rick is 60 years old today, and I don't think it's stretching it to say if you dig pop music, if you dig some kind of music that was popular during your life, he's probably produced something you really like. That's the easiest way to say it. I can't go through the whole list. The show's not long enough. But I'll just say it this way. In 2005, he won a Grammy for producing work for Johnny Cash and Jay-Z. I'm not sure how I can say it any clearer than that. He produced the two Adele records that I like the most and that most people like the most, 19 and 21. He did that. He was the guy in the room with Aerosmith and Run DMC when that thing happened. He was the guy. He produced Slayer and, he produced Slayer on the metal side. He produced the Chicks album when they did their comeback thing from the big controversy. He produced Public Enemy. He produced Metallica. He produced, the list goes on and on and on.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
The Chili Peppers, right in the middle of things.
Slayer.
He produced he produced a couple of my favorite Tom Petty records and won Grammys with him. And then the whole Johnny Cash run was incredible. And Rick Rubin is he's a whole nother dude. He is my favorite kind of music fan because he gets all of it. That guy, I don't even know talk about the guy that if I knew him, all I'd want to know is just on a given day, Rick, what are you listening to, man? Right now, what are you listening to? What are you into? Because he's everywhere.
Right.
I don't know how you can stay as connected to different kinds of music as Rick Rubin does.
Yeah, and that's what makes him so popular and so famous. The fact that he could go hang out with Tom Petty, understand Tom Petty to where he can make a perfect song for him, and Tom just has to go and do what he does on his chops, and then on the other side, hang out with Hove, Jay-Z, and do the same thing. Because those are two different genres of music.
Right.
Yet he gets all music and gets all different types of artists and how they work. And yeah, he's a goat in his own right.
Dude, it's amazing. The hip-hop side, Beastie Boys, Ghetto Boys, Run DMC, Public Enemy, LL Cool J. Like Beastie Boys. If you like No Sleep Till Brooklyn, that guitar, that's Rick Rubin. He's the reason. The guy in the video is from Slayer. That's Rick Rubin. Nobody else would have done that. That's suicide. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Who even knows? Who knows a Beastie Boy and a guy in Slayer? Only Rick Rubin did. And he brought those worlds together, man. It's so cool. I love so many things about him. Rage Against the Machine, Linkin Park, Audio Slave, Weezer, System of a Down. You mentioned the Chicks. I mean, it's silly. It's silly. Happy birthday to Rick Rubin. Today, go out and grab yourself something that he produced, because I know, trust me, there's something there. There's something. I saw a documentary, Zay, a few years ago, a band I don't even know that much about. I like what I've heard, the Avett Brothers. They're this kind of folksy country group, and they're talking about the making of this album and why it's so important, and who's sitting on the driveway with them talking about it? But Rick Rubin. Like, of course it's Rick. He did it.
Yeah.
It's unreal, man.
Yo, Def Jam Records, probably the biggest rap record company of all time, and he was the co-founder with Russell Simmons.
Yep, there you go. Co-founded Def Jam, founder of American Recordings, former co-president of Columbia. Unbelievable career. Happy birthday to Rick Rubin. Hope he's doing well today. Hope he is telling someone to do exactly what they need to do to make the song they need to make. I can't remember who it was. The other day I was reading a story. It may have been, I may be off here because I've been reading a lot of different music stuff, and it may have been a Wu-Tang Clan member that was dealing with Rick Rubin, but it was a story about Rick making the artist go back and listen to like all of the stuff that they'd done before or a couple records and then come back. And ultimately it ended up in the artist admitted it ended up in a better record because Rick Rubin made him do it. And I thought, who else would do that?
Like, listen to their own catalog.
Yes, to their own stuff. And I think it may have been it was a metal discussion. I think it was. Yeah, some metal band. And, I know what it was. He made the guitar player from Black Sabbath go listen to like 4 or 5 Black Sabbath albums and then and come back and do it again. He said that to Tony Iommi, one of the most legendary guitar players that's ever lived. And it worked.
Wow.
And later they admitted, yeah, it's a better album because Rick was right. Like, what?
That's the thing. He just knew each artist that he worked with so well and knew what buttons to push. Kind of like coaching. Like, just
absolutely.
What good coaches do. Like, each player is different. You got to know which buttons to push to get the most out of that player. It's same with music. Even guys as legendary as the guy you just mentioned, like, to get the best out of them, some guys go about it differently. And Rick knew all about that and then some.
Yeah, it's incredible. Incredible stuff. Happy birthday to Rick Rubin today. Also, tomorrow on the musical side, the late, great Vinnie Paul of Pantera, the drummer, late drummer, would have been 59. Tomorrow, today, the other monster birthday we should mention, I mentioned Jim Valvano would have had a birthday today. Chuck Norris is 83 today. Still probably able to kick your head off at the age of 83. Happy birthday.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
To Chuck. Walker,
Legend.
Texas Ranger. That's right. Kevin Dunn and myself did get a chance to interview Chuck Norris back in the day.
So dope.
It was incredible. It was incredible. My dumb ass kind of forgot that it happened, and Kevin had to remind me. He's like, dude, we sat in a room with him. I'm like, oh, my God, I forgot about it.
What?
I know. It was during a really strange – it was like I think it was right as I got fired from the gig. So that's why it cut out in my mind.
Yeah.
But it was so cool because we brought up the Chuck Norris stuff with him. Like, hey, man, all this Chuck Norris stuff they say about – Chuck, my favorite is Chuck Norris. His tears can cure cancer, but the problem is he never cries.
Right.
And he started laughing at that one. He thought that one was good, and he would give us a couple more that he thought was great. He said at the time, he said one of his favorites was Chuck Norris doesn't sleep, he waits. He thought that was funny. But there's now just tons of them out there, and it's an iconic thing. So happy birthday to Chuck Norris, 83 years old today.
My grandma, God bless her soul, every day, whenever Walker, Texas Ranger would be on TV, she'd be watching it.
Is that right?
However many seasons that they had, she saw all of them.
Dude, I never watched that show, which proved, I guess, I wasn't old enough at the time. It felt like an old person show.
Yeah.
I never watched it.
It's like one of those Murder, She Wrote types.
But once again, I would like to thank Chuck Norris for one key moment in my life because I can still remember it. The Chuck Norris martial arts movie called The Octagon is the first movie I ever saw where I saw a woman's bare chest.
Ooh.
Ever.
Nice.
First time.
I know Chuck was doing that kind of stuff.
Chuck, you the man. Well done.
Yeah, all I know is Walker, Texas Ranger. I didn't know Chuck was on this Steven Seagal-ish.
All I know is he was trying to protect her. He was trying to figure out who he needed to fight, and all of a sudden it was like a hotel room or something, and she took off a sweater, and I thought, okay, might want to learn some karate. Not bad, Chuck. Not bad. Happy birthday to Chuck Norris today. And the musical holiday I referenced, tomorrow is March 11th, so it is 3/11. So for those of you that love the band 311, like our man Eddie Cross from Fight Night, they celebrate in a whole nother way. I've never heard of a group of fans care enough about a band but tomorrow is 3/11 day. They celebrate. They do special things. They may be out on one of those cruises right now. The band is wonderfully out there. And if I went back and looked, I bet Rick Rubin produced one of their records. Maybe their best record. No, I don't know if that's true. But I do like 311. I've never seen 311 live. That is a show I'd love to see because they are a great, tight band, but they definitely have a loose feel to them for a lot of different reasons. Some of those reasons are medicinal. You know what I'm saying?
I feel him.
Yeah, 311, very cool. So happy 311 day to all you fans tomorrow. Up next, Stems and Seeds. Before we get out of here, some NFL notes, including, do you need Adam Thielen on your team? Yes, it's 2023. You should know that before you answer the question. This is The Horn.
Chad and Zay.
Wow. Okay. Getting into some, I was going to say, this definitely sounds like it's got a southern feel to it. Not that a northern rapper wouldn't bring up collard greens, but it just feels like if you're going to bring up the collard greens that quickly, it's probably a southern feel. All right. Should I know?
No.
No
You
chance.
have zero chance.
I have no chance.
Zero.
Where is he coming from?
Mississippi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Not too many Mississippi rappers.
That is this like brand new stuff?
It's not brand new, but he's still rapping.
All right, introduce me. Who is he?
This is Big Crit.
Okay.
Big Crit.
Spell it.
K-R-I-T.
K-R-I-T. Big Crit. Okay.
Big Crit became big around a decade and some change ago. There's a few rappers that they call blog era rappers, where guys just became famous putting their own stuff for free online, and a whole bunch of blogs would talk about them, and they're more underground guys. So Wiz Khalifa, he's a blog rapper.
Okay.
Currency, Wiz's guy, one of my favorites. Big Crit, Big Sean, Kendrick Lamar's even a blog rapper. So there's a few guys that
Okay.
been around for a while and came out during a very specific time.
Fair enough. All right. So Big Crit, Jay-Z.
Oh, and he makes his own beats. Big Crit makes his own beats.
Oh, this is him. Oh, he's all of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
incredible.
okay.
So talented.
One-stop shop. Flo Rida, Anthrax, Pink Floyd, Skid Row, all on the show today. The Ashanti beat started us off this hour, and we said happy 60th birthday to Rick Rubin, because we are music snobs around here. There's a lot going on today.
Yeah, I've actually met Big Crit.
Have you really?
I have.
Look at you.
I have.
That's-
Yeah. My good friend Ryan Baxter was in my wedding. He's the son of former Texas basketball great Ron Baxter. I'm sure you old heads remember that name.
Okay.
Ron Baxter. Him and his wife, Ryan and his wife, Annalise, she used to do something with music back in the day where she got people in and like help show big celebrity music people around and stuff, make them feel comfortable.
Mhm.
And yeah, Crit became cool with those guys, and I was cool with Ryan. So one day we were at some little get together, and Crit just showed up, and I had to pretend like I wasn't at all. I had to pretend like
I bet you
I was
flipped
just a
out.
normal guy. I kind of flipped.
Did you
out.
fanboy a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. We were
Mhm.
watching
That'll
the
happen.
basketball game, and he asked me something about James Harden, and it was
Yeah.
dope, and yeah, it was fun.
If you and I were at a party and Rick Rubin walked in across the room, I don't know what I'd do.
You'd lose it.
I really would. Yeah, that'd be crazy. That's cool, though. Get to meet somebody like that. That's a lot of talent.
Yeah, Crit's cool. He is cool.
Before we get to stems and seeds, I have a rap history question for you.
All right.
So Big Crit just did it. T.I. does it. Other guys that I've heard, I feel like some of the Atlanta guys do it. Is there someone that gets credit for starting the shawty thing and referring to a woman as shawty?
Nah, that's just a down south thing.
That's a South thing.
That's a south thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that's just a kind of generic reference for
Woman.
a woman. Is it always your woman? Any woman? Could be anybody.
Yeah, it could be anybody.
But is it a special woman?
Yeah,
It always feels like there's a little something. It's not just any woman,
yeah,
right? It's a woman you're interested in.
yeah. Like, come on, shawty, don't do that to me now.
Okay. I just want to make sure if there was
Yeah.
someone that really brought that into rap. 'Cause-
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but it was definitely a South rapper or just
Okay.
somebody in
a
the
Southern,
South in
yeah.
general.
Because when he said it, I thought of T.I. because I enjoy that. That's one of the things I enjoyed about T.I. the first time I listened to him. I'm assuming, does a Ludacris get into that word?
I'm sure he says it.
Enjoy that?
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy it. And I practice, too, when I try to repeat it because I know I can't say shorty. You got to
Please-
say
yeah, please don't say
shawty.
that.
We got to lengthen that vowel
Yeah.
out a little bit.
Mr. Purple Cassette, please don't say
Got
that.
to go shoddy on that one. All right, let's go stems and seeds and get you a couple of notes. We'll start in the NFL.
No stress, no seeds, no stems, no sticks.
Brought to you by AV Consultations, 255-8678, or go to avconsultations.com. Zay, do you think anybody wants Adam Thielen? About to turn 33 years old. Vikings released him.
Yeah. He's always been a good locker room guy. He's been a good receiver, perennial Pro Bowl guy. If he could come in and be maybe somebody's number 3, maybe a number 4, depending on the team, That'd be huge.
Yeah, interesting. Last 5 games of last year, 4th in targets behind Jefferson, Hawkinson, and Osborne. Went down to 4th on that team.
That makes sense.
And that kind of tells you why they're making that move. Keep your eyes on that. Maybe a team ends up with him. Jameis Winston has been asked to accept an amended contract. You think Jameis is going to go along with this? Stay the backup in New Orleans.
He better. I mean, what else has he got?
What's his other option?
Yeah, he's a backup for the rest of his career.
Man, I hope Jameis is comfortable with that. I think you're right, but I hope he is ready to admit that. We talked about the Cowboys situation, restructuring Dak Prescott and Zach Martin. So now the Cowboys go into the weekend. We'll come back on Monday. Remember, it's next Wednesday officially starts the NFL, season, but all the early colluding talk that's allowed, all that early discussion, they can start doing that this weekend. So we're going to start hearing some stuff. By the time we get back on Monday, there are going to be deals already cooked up.
Yeah, I just saw 4-letter network on the bottom, Tyreek Hill. He's restructuring his contract with the Dolphins.
Okay.
Because I think he sees on that other side, Jalen Waddle, who hasn't gotten paid yet because he's still on his rookie deal. He's pretty good too. And he helped me a lot this year.
Yeah.
Get open.
And he just saw his former team go win it all without him.
That must hurt.
Oh, that's got to sting. That has got to sting. Now, they won it with him, too. Let's be fair. He did win one with him. That's what he'd probably tell me. Hey, man, I got the ring and the money, and I live in South Beach. Don't cry for me. I'm good.
Yeah.
I am doing fine. Also, let's give a get well not only to Bill Self, hope he gets better. They don't think it was a heart attack, which is good news. But let's do a get well for Jon Rahm, best golfer on earth right now. He had to withdraw from the Players' Championship. That sucked because he was playing with Rory and Scotty Scheffler, which was kind of a cool group. But if you're interested, the Players' Championship this weekend, little TPC, number 17 out there, TPC Sawgrass, they're doing that this weekend. Enjoy that. Enjoy all your Longhorn action. Texas men's basketball, they will fire up at 8:30 on the tip time, 8:15 on the 8:15, 8 o'clock on the pregame tonight.